in order. Brother Paul, you say prayer tonight for us to be ready. Yes, sir. I'll be sweet. Approval of the agenda. Second. Dr. Regan. Go ahead.
If the between LS and Mather Crossing and City of Fort Worth for a certain parcel of land lying between South and Crossfield Road and approximately 900 feet south to the east of the intersection of Crossfield Road and Norfolk Southern Railroad Company, 50 feet right of the way. Second one, and all three of these will be under the new business, City Hall second floor company, building posted by Gator Construction Incorporated, for $227,000 for audio and visual vehicle statements. Front in the amount of $140,000. Last item of the new business is action required to increasing the monthly city retirement for council members from $25 to $40 for each year served from the charter amendment, which was originally motioned during the August 22nd, 2019 regular city council meeting and enacted on this plan as a separate item. Council is eligible to receive the retirement benefit after reaching age 62 and when no longer serving on city council. The other two will be under 6 elections and appointments. The appointment of a full-time interim city administrator and a modification of the contract with our current part-time interim city administrator. Those are the 5 items added to the agenda.
Second. Where'd you put the last two at?
It'll be under item 6 under elections and appointments.
Sorry, let me make sure I have it correct, Mr. Ryder. So under item 6, elections and appointments, you want to add item A, full-time interim city administrator?
No, it'll be appointment of a full-time interim city administrator. The second one is a modification of the contract with the current part-time city interim administrator.
Your Honor, I just have a quick question.
All right.
We called in prior to tonight's meeting. Do we not have rules that we have to go by about calling them in?
Yeah, I think we should discuss that, come back to it at a later time.
Well, actually, already
been seconded, so we have to either.
At this point, Mr. Stevens, we're not at motion stage, we're going through the agenda, so we're not making a motion at this time. He's just suggesting that these items be added, we haven't gotten to the motion yet. So you guys have to first agree to add it to the agenda, or the mayor is stating he doesn't want to move otherwise.
I think we should bring this up on the next council meeting, have it on the agenda beforehand.
No.
What about Robert's rules of order? They just been motioned and this is seconded.
We haven't done that. I'm not asking anybody to make a motion.
I thought that's what Thomas just did.
I didn't ask him to make a motion.
It's a free agenda, right? We just want to do the agenda. If there's a personnel matter, I'm okay.
It's not on it. We don't have an executive session
Well, I
tonight.
understand that,
Do I need to move them? See, getting on it. Everything's so quiet.
Go ahead, Bob.
there's quite a few things that are always been added to the agenda in the last minute. Like the first 3 that I just read, and the other 2 are nothing that's out of the order or any type of interim contract. You don't have to be advertised.
Well, we have to have a discussion about this before
We
now.
have a discussion, but we still have to approve the agenda once we get there. And I would like those 2 items that I just mentioned added. Other than that, we can move on if you need some. Because this is pre-agenda, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what, that's what we're having a discussion on that, is that not right, Tom?
We would have some discussion on it, but we have talked about this round and round many times. You have stated to us that you're leaving the on,
I'm gonna take a trip.
exactly. We need someone that can be on a full-time basis to really the city's operations on a day-to-day basis.
We
It's
also
really
need,
simple, it's not complicated. We're just trying to add something to the.
we also need a financial, person to help us.
As I mentioned before, at the first onset of my speaking, we can move on to this pre-agenda, correct? Yeah. We could add them when we get to the regular agenda when there's a majority vote required to approve this one.
Y'all want to have this vote tonight?
Yes. Definitely.
Okay. We'll add it to the agenda.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, adopt. Approval of the agenda. You finished with that now, Thomas?
Say it again, sir?
You finished with the approval of the agenda? We need to move on?
Yes, I don't have nothing else to add unless somebody else have anything else to add.
Uh, Adoption of minutes.
I'll do that.
Okay. Do we have any committee reports? Communication and petitions, do we have any? Committee reports? Okay. Good with that one?
Yeah.
Consent agenda?
I'll do the consent agenda.
We have any unfinished business? Okay, ready to get started? Paul?
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, Lord, we come before you tonight. We thank you for your blessings to us. Thank you, Lord, for the city of Port Wentworth and all the officials and the support personnel that keep the city running. We thank you, Lord, for your blessings to us. We ask you to have your continued blessings throughout this meeting, and we pray and ask all this in Christ's name I pray. Amen.
All present, Your Honor.
Approval of the agenda?
Your Honor, I would recommend that we approve the agenda with the 5 additions that I just talked about a few minutes ago. I want that we approve the agenda with those 5 additions added in.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Yay.
Any, elections and appointments? Do you have any special guests? See a bunch of special guests. Okay, adoption of minutes.
Make a motion to approve the city council regular meeting on October the 24th.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Communication and petitions. Okay, committee reports.
Mayor, I think you skipped,
Which one?
6.
Number 6.
No, we did number 6.
No, we didn't do number 6.
All right, number 6. I said elections and appointments.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
That was
Go ahead.
2 that I added. I move that we appoint Steve Davis as a full-time interim city administrator, effective immediately. The second motion I would like to make is that we modify the current contract with the interim current city administrator.
Second.
Pardon me,
We have not discussed any of this between us.
unless they have,
We haven't advertised for
that's right, we haven't
a full-time
advertised
position.
it, way out of line.
You're running for it. For,
It's not gonna happen.
for an interim.
According to Robert's Rules of Order,
for an
he made a motion, it's been seconded, you have to either vote, or
Your Honor, you're the mayor, please
either
call
way,
it.
it has to be voted on.
And point of order, this is to stop it as illegal action.
That's right. Stop it, we're going.
This is legal.
Because we can talk about this now. It's illegal.
Please know his opinion. Is there a pardon me? I said, please know his opinion. Is there a contract that potentially you consider at this point?
We need to discuss having a full-time city manager, and Mr. Phil is, had talked about, and we talked to you a long time ago, months ago about, wanting to, leave February or March. And in turn, we need to have him work with somebody to get him up to speed. And he has mentioned to me that he would want to do that.
We haven't advertised for this position.
I think that that's the most critical issue is, obviously, somebody has talked to someone about hiring them, but typically the process
He's
would
been
be,
here talking to all council members here in the council room at different meetings.
I understand that, but council doesn't want to explore all the possible options and then downsize and pare down to maybe your best options. He still may be your best option. I'm not saying that. I don't know the gentleman that well. So, but the point is, typically these positions are advertised out and giving people an opportunity to put their applications in and submit, and then you go through a process of downsizing, getting down to your final 2 or 3, and then you interview, and then you make the selection process.
Well,
So if y'all are talking about maybe bringing someone back in as an interim, but not appointing them full-time, it's up to y'all.
let me ask this question.
Your Honor, that's exactly what we're talking about, an interim. And an interim does not have to be advertised. It's just-
I'm not arguing that point, I'm just
At some
arguing.
point, we may decide to make him a full-time employee, but at this particular stage, I'd like him to be appointed as an interim city administrator, effective immediately. Steve has actually met each and every one of everybody up on this council. He's actually had lunch with you at the Morster Road, Mayor. You remember me when you guys talked? Apparently, you had a great time, but you kept talking for a while.
We was only there just a few minutes, Tom. So
Few minutes.
don't add anything into that, Mr. Barbie,
But
that's bull.
Steve is,
I'm telling you something, Mr. Barbie, don't add anything into that because that is not true. What you're saying is not true.
what part of I'm saying is not true, Mayor?
We had a lengthy conversation. He might have been there sitting with me for 2 or 3 minutes and he and his wife today.
Did you meet?
Unlike what you had with the waste pro, unlike what you had, the conversation you had with waste pro.
Well, wait now. We had a proper motion and a proper second.
I'm still asking, Attorney, his view.
I'm really concerned about the notice given here and whether we've got proper procedures yet.
According to Robert Rules of Order, it's proper.
Well, properly advertised as a position. Have you properly advertised as a position? That's my rhetorical question.
Actually, this position had been advertised. Applications were taken.
That was a year ago.
It was advertised.
Once again, Jimmy, this is advice on what we need to do.
It would be my advice to table this matter for 1 month, to give an opportunity to at least consider the other applications that have been filed. Have this council even looked at those applications?
Yes, we have. Phil Jones given us a few different names. And
A year ago.
yes.
And there was in fact a better candidate out there that had a lot of years of experience and long-term experience in 2 previous jobs
I consider
that would
that.
have been a very good candidate.
And I believe as a united front, we all need to meet these people and not just do the one piece here. Oh, let's remember him when we met him a year ago. I think we all need to meet this person and have a unified front. Let's be a team. But apparently it's not gonna be that way.
Again, my recommendation is to table it for a while.
Please notice the correction. Let's call for a vote.
Well, we can, we've said, call for a vote, to act on it or to table it.
Okay, we'll call for a vote to act on it or table it. So remember what y'all doing tonight. Okay, go ahead, Tom.
I'd like to act on it.
Is
Go
that
ahead,
right,
Tom.
Gary?
I make the motion that we.
Hold on, Mr. Barbie, is that a correct statement?
No, I'm just saying. We
No,
might be
is that
doing something.
correct?
I'm telling you, we
Yes
might
or no?
be doing
Is that
something
correct?
wrong. The
Yes or
attorney
no?
said.
I'm asking a
I
very
said,
simple
no,
question.
it's
It's
not
a yes
a
or
threat.
it's a yes
It's
or no
not a
question.
threat, Mark.
Okay.
Let me tell you
let's
what
go
it is.
forward.
It's
And
about.
and Your Honor,
we
we're
might
not
be doing
obligated to
something
follow,
wrong.
we're not obligated to follow the attorney's opinion or advice.
Okay. All right, Tom, go ahead.
I make the motion that we appoint Steve Davis as a full-time interim city administrator effective immediately.
Second.
And can we have discussion? Yes.
Sure.
I have not met this man. If I did, I don't remember him. He could be that person over there. I don't know him. I would like to sit down and talk to him and
Steve
make
Davis,
and
are you
make
here in
him,
the room? I am.
make
Tom,
him,
hold on.
make an
Tom.
informed decision. He's not the
There you
mayor.
go.
He thinks he's the mayor.
Tom, let her finish talking.
But I would like to, excuse me, I'm talking.
Yes, ma'am.
But if I had met him, it was in the hall or somewhere, I don't even know where I met him. But if somebody came along, I know somebody come along a while back and gave everybody a resume out here after a meeting. We don't know him from Adam's house cat. We need to sit down and talk to this man. What employer in here has other people making their decisions? When you have a joint effort here, you have an educated decision. We've got people in here that don't know this man, and we're telling you we don't know him. We would like to sit down and talk with him.
Anyone else?
I'd like to say a few things about Mr. Davis's background. He's infinitely qualified for the position, and first we shared his resume with all of us, for those that care to look at it. This community is growing expeditionally, and we need a full-time leader that's monitoring the city on a daily basis. This man has a master's degree in public administration, he's certified public manager, and also used to be the anybody hear me? Our community is growing, ladies and gentlemen, and we need a full-time city administrator there that's available each and every day. There's nothing wrong with a part-time, but we need a full-time. That's about it.
Your Honor. Anybody else?
Motion on the floor,
Go ahead, Tom.
and a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
You got that, Sean?
What was the final result of the vote, sir?
4-2.
42.
And so now we've got a new full-time interim city administrator.
That's what the vote says.
And I know what the vote said. We get along good. Yeah, but I just want you to know that there's not an employer out there that would not have that would not hire somebody that did not have an informed decision. This is weak. This is very weak. And if I was Steve Davis, I wouldn't want to come in this way.
Your vote is so recorded.
Well, thank you, Mayor
All right,
Pro Tem.
sit. Moving on. Unfinished business. Adoption of minutes.
Oh, Jim did that part.
Yes, sir.
We're voting on that. There we go. Do we have any unfinished business? Okay. Communication and petitions, number 8. Committee reports.
Make a motion to
approve the committee reports as is.
Get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, consent agenda?
I recommend that we accept the consent agenda as is.
Second.
Get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. New business, item A. The 2020 inauguration date, planning, and newly elected council members. We'll talk about a date.
January the 7th would be a great day. I think it's the second Tuesday in January. That's when everybody that was elected could actually make it.
Anybody else have a date? Is that good with everybody?
That's good.
Sherry?
Yeah, that'll work.
Debbie?
Yes.
Mr. Bill?
Doesn't bother me at all. You can have it January 1 for us.
Couldn't do that first. Does anybody,
I think there needs to be one more vote.
what now?
Under new business, there needs to be one more vote. We need to modify the actual contract of the part-time interim city administrator to be a consultant, not the actual administrator. There don't have to be one running the city.
Second.
Gentlemen, is this not considered personnel? This is not the place to discuss this, I don't think.
There actually wasn't a discussion.
Well, it wasn't under discussion, it was put on the agenda to be pushed through. But if we're going to move in and add another position, it needs to go into executive session and be talked about, period. You can't do it in front of these people here because things are said in confidence and then it needs to be kept in confidence. That's all I'll say to that.
All right, let's do the item B.
On the inauguration, let's go back to A,
Okay,
where we're gonna have it.
at the gym.
At the gym.
City Hall would be fine down here.
What time?
The gym would be better to facilitate more people.
Well, yeah, bring it back.
What time do y'all want to do it? 7?
Yeah, that's good.
7 on 7.
We need an official motion to set it on.
I make a motion that we have the inauguration on the 7th of January at 7 p.m.
Did you say
7th or 2nd?
7. Get a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, item D.
What time it is? What time?
We, on the health insurance, we have received, we haven't gotten the final quotes and bids on the healthcare insurance, but we do know for sure that it's going to be an increase. The interim look is going to be like a 64-65% increase. However, that sounds like it's a large number, but it is still significantly less than what we were paying a year ago.
And Phil, what's going the effects of, that's gonna be on person different from their check? I mean, that's a lot, that's a huge increase.
No, ma'am. We, as you will recall, last year, we covered 100% of the healthcare premium cost. The cost that it looks like we're gonna get at this time is still gonna be significantly less than that dollar value. And the city could still afford to pay the 100%, so there would be no additional cost to the employee. It would still be the same. It would just cost the city more than it cost them for this past 12 months.
How much will that be?
About 64-65% increase.
How many companies are we looking at?
It's going to be in the $781,000 versus $1.1 million over a year ago.
How many companies you look at?
our broker looked at all, he put it on the street. Now, we're still talking with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and so we may get a different number. So again, it's not, this is an interim look, and it's just to let you know that right now, because of the employee usage, several employees, of course, had a very high usage rate, and those rates drove our cost, which is typical. It happens.
What was the percentage of decrease last year from our previous?
It was over 100%.
Over 100 decrease?
So there's no real decision to make on this particular issue tonight. It's just to give you a heads up on what it's looking like. And it does look like obviously we're going to have a significant increase. But the Blue Cross Blue Shield proposal does look potentially enticing, but we don't have final numbers back on that because we had to provide them some additional data.
We don't need to make a decision on it.
No,
Just let
there's
everybody know.
no real decision.
Let me ask you this, because in the packet, I was reading that employees can get discounted things if they do certain items.
Right, that was one of the issues, and I didn't need to cover that. We were talking about the issue of smokers versus non-smokers. Currently, the city has 5 people that are smokers. And to get the best premium discount, if nobody smoked, we would get the best premium discount. But with those 5 individuals, we have to pay a premium of another $150 for those folks. So the issue is, does the city want to offset that and make that individual pay that as a result of them being a smoker?
Is there a way we can incentivize them to give up the habit?
We could, but I know at least 1 or 2, and the answer was, that issue was proposed before, and the answer was not only no, it's not going to happen. We've been doing it for so long that we're not going to stop. So that's the fallback issue. If we do that, would you require those particular employees to pay the $150 premium? And if you do that, then that obviously helps.
When will you have final figures?
We shall have final, I was hoping we'd have them this week, but we're probably going to get them around first part of January.
First part of January?
And that's when
When does our current contract expire?
January 1st.
Okay.
Always.
We may have a special meeting.
We could still have a meeting in December and still meet those criteria, no problem.
Well, we need to keep in mind that this is a great benefit for the employees, and it helps us to retain the employees who have trained, and they're not leaving as quickly. Now, I'm speaking primarily of the fire department and the police department. We put thousands of dollars into these men and women that are being trained, and to have them leave in 2 weeks because of uncertainty of what's going on, this causes a problem not only for you, but for me. And I would be very leery about changing the health claim cost for them. I really would.
It's a great retention benefit, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
And I agree with you,
Okay.
Anybody else?
So if there's a decision to be made tonight, it's the decision that needs to be made on the premium. Do we fully fund them, or do we ask them to pay the premium?
All right, the premium you're talking about for those that smoke, or?
Yes, sir, for those that smoke.
And this would be just what, $150 a year?
$150, yes, sir.
Is it a one-time fee or is it per month?
Okay, period.
I think it's per pay period, yes, which is per month.
That's $300.
Yeah, that's how it used to be, by the way. I mean, we're not doing anything different than we have.
Is there a way we could pay ask them to pay a portion of that extra premium?
Yes,
Just so there's no, I mean, 'cause I totally agree keeping the others, you know, for the funders.
we had 6, we're down to 5.
Do you have to agree on a figure tonight?
No, but
Okay.
we would have to make that final decision come in the December meeting.
If I may, Your Honor, just so council is aware, on December the 6th, Friday, is our annual Employee Services Day. That's the day that's used to inform city staff of health insurance coverages for medical, dental, vision, and some of the supplemental coverages. So it would be nice to know going into that Employee Services Day if the employees are going to be fully funded or portionally funded, just so that staff can make preparations for their coverage.
We do have to put a big workbook together,
Yes,
which
it's a lot involved.
takes a lot of work to
Right.
do.
I don't understand that. My recommendation is for non-smokers, still pay the 100%. For the smokers, maybe you have to pay half of that fee.
How about that? Sounds good.
They'd be paying $150 a month instead of $300.
I think that's fair.
That's a reasonable solution.
Somebody want to make a motion on that?
I make a motion.
Second. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Mr. Exley, are you here from Waste Pro? Yes, sir.
Mayor and Council, thank you for having us here tonight, Waste Pro. When the RFP came out, we wanted to ensure the city of Fort Wentworth that we'd offer a different type of service to you guys.
Excuse me, sir, would you mind speaking directly to the mic?
Right there, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I better, thank you.
We wanted to ensure the city of Fort Wentworth that we would offer a different type of service. We went through each item in the RFP, and we discussed what we felt you guys were asking for. That was service with less trucks on the street, tracking, streamlined communication between residents and the hauler, easier to understand routing, accountability, and the main thing was the curb time for the cars. So with that, I just wanted to add that if you guys look into the bid, we offer 360-degree cameras on our trucks. We offer breadcrumb. We offer live streaming on our trucks, which is a lot of things that I feel like is valuable when carts are missed. With that being said, I'd like to go through some of the things that, some of the other things that make it better. We also looked at your Rice Hope community, and with the Rice Hope community, we noticed there was a lot of destruction there. There's a lot of problems with landscape and different structures. So I kind of went off track and started asking some questions at our company. Found out that we were servicing a location in Jacksonville, Florida, and we were servicing those with 4-yard gators, which those are the green John Deere. Those gators were equipped with, or are equipped with all of our camera systems, safety items, lights. But we did that because we were going 150 yards up driveways and alleys. So we injected this into the community, and it seemed to save a lot of money, a lot of time. So with everything going on in the Rice Hope community and speaking with some people there that I know, they were, very open to that idea. So, in our bid proposal, that's something that we actually added in there at basically no cost to the city. We also added in at no cost to the city, our Track Easy system. We use that system with the city of Beaufort right now. We use it for Georgia Port, we use it for Georgia Southern, and we also use it with the city of Bloomingdale. Track Easy is a way that we capture problems to the city without the residents having to contact City Hall. They can still contact City Hall if need be, but what we found out that once we got through with the training with the residents, through HOA meetings and things like that, we found that the residents were reporting their own problems, and those problems would come to us with a 36-hour turn on getting those items fixed. So, and those things escalate, obviously from our dispatcher all the way up to myself. So Track Easy was another item that we wanted to bring to the table. It's also good for scheduling, and with the way that you guys are looking to handle yard waste now, I thought it was a very good idea to use Track Easy for yard waste and for bulk. We use it, like I say, we use it now with the city of Beaufort, and it's a perfect tool for scheduling. So in your packet, I just kind of talked about, I just wanted to overview what our bid package said. You know, our transition, we'll have a transition team that will come from out of town to help get this and make it smooth. We would like to have meetings, if awarded, we'd like to have meetings with the city to let them know the progress and how things are going. Obviously, we would not use any used equipment. What we would have would be brand new equipment we would purchase for the city. And that equipment would also be labeled for this city. So you would know that those trucks are not coming out of the city of Beaufort, they're Port Wentworth trucks, okay? White goods and bulky items obviously would be the same schedule through Track Easy. Public education, my guys are always available for that and myself. So if you guys have recycle that you want to talk about in schools, we're there for that. We would definitely like to do that 1 or 2 a quarter if possible. I feel like customer service by far is our best asset. We do live dispatch. Our dispatchers are not at a call center. When you contact people, when the city contacts people, there will be people here. I will oversee this. You will see me here. So I think that's another item. And also at the end of this, you'll see some facts on this, and then we'll get into the pricing. Transition local first class facility. We have a really nice facility that we'd love for you guys to come look at. We have 15 plus years of local experience, 235 prior cities and counties that we've transitioned to, and we have a detailed plan laid out for you guys for implementation. Obviously, we have the assets available to do the job. Our newest rear load trucks would be servicing residents. Those would be brand new trucks. You would have the numbers of those trucks. You would understand that those are Port Wentworth trucks. They will be labeled Port Wentworth. Our fleet exclusive John Deere Gators will service the homes with alley service in the Rice Hope community. And any other communities you guys feel like that maybe curbs are getting tore up, anything like that. Our trucks are equipped with GPS third eye camera system. That's probably our biggest thing. I get a report every day that I have to go in and check off when we have a driver that may use a cell phone. It automatically starts recording when you pick the cell phone up. Anything that happens in that truck is viewed by that camera. And if you tell me, if I get a call from anyone within the city and say, hey, we missed this particular home, there's no argument. I can go right back to that address, I can show you a picture of that home and if the cart was there. So that's another asset, because I know that, you know, people tend to back and forth on that item. Then obviously being a council member myself, I have to hear a lot of that, and there's really no way to prove that. So anyway, it's 360-degree camera. It's live. If somebody says, hey, I think the driver is doing this in our neighborhood, we'll pull it up and watch him all the way through the neighborhood. So that's another asset there that we have. Obviously, 2 times a month, yard trimming and bulk pickup could be scheduled through Track Easy. The tagging system that we use with the city of Beaufort, we do about 4,400 homes in the city of Beaufort. And we have a unique tagging system. There's a bundle size to each home. If that is not bundled correctly or bagged correctly, obviously you can spend days out there picking up yard waste after a storm. So what we do is we tag that. We work close with code enforcement there to come back and make sure that that pile gets where it should be for us to pick up. There's a couple options here. I know, you know, you guys discussed this in your meeting, but in your workshop, if the city's code enforcement team is not prepared right now to do that, Waste Pro can change our price of $0. We can just pick up what will fit in our truck, okay? And we'll just do that. We'll pick up our yard waste at size to go into a rear loader, which bulk waste would still be free to the city. But obviously, if we did have to change the size of the pile, we said 5 by 5 by 5. That's what we said, bundle. If we had to change that, obviously, we would have to charge for yard waste pickup. But we can address that here in just a minute. Public education, obviously, trash can and door hangers is one of the things that we would do during implementation. Also direct mail, dedicated City of Fort Wentworth website. We do that now. If you go to the City of Beaufort's website and you click on garbage, it'll take you straight to our website with that's labeled City of Beaufort. And then you guys can look through that, and that's also where complaints are made, things are tracked. But it's a good tool, and it's also a tool that we would offer at no cost to the city. Our customer service, train local CSRs, they're personal, not remote. You guys have their resume in the bid package, so we're very transparent. Track Easy online customer inquiry and resolution, accountability, customer service monitoring, route supervisors checking routes, overflow call center. So we try to handle everything within our location here. But when you have inclement weather, problems like that, we do have, at corporate, we have an overflow call center that can absorb those calls and make sure that those get handled. And we've had a couple storms a year, so we've had to use that, and it's worked. It's been positive. Our employee tenure is 8 years on average. First company I've worked for where giving out bonuses based off of years of service, it's $250 a year, and those guys are getting it. And they're getting it because we don't have turnover. The turnover that we have, we feel is positive turnover. The Hardyville division and Georgia division has led our company in safety the past 2 years. We've had 3 claims in 2 years. We lead the whole company at 85 divisions strong. We've had great success with property damage, workers' comp, and accidents. We strive to make our employees the best through innovative training procedures, pre-hire, and then our weekly meetings. Waste Pro pricing adjustment, I know this is something that you guys talked about, that you wanted to discuss. On the next to the last page, I just kind of took the format that Mr. Jones used, and I went in there and added a negotiated column, if you would. And one of the things that I noticed is, I started looking at this thing, and it's, you know, it's greened out on a lot of price differences. But I put, I highlighted blue over to the right, and if you'll see that, you'll notice in the blue, that's the customers that would affect. One of the things that we thought about, and we sit for probably 2 weeks mulling over this thing, and we had multiple people come in from corporate and just talked about pricing and what we could do for the city. There's a lot that goes into this other than, you know, just sit down and put the number in. But one of the things that we looked at was we have 104 commercial customers pretty much in the city of Fort Wentworth, and we have over 3,000 residents. So what we wanted to do was make sure that we gave a price to the residents that would be a positive from what they were seeing. So we gave our best price. We didn't change it, and that's what we come up with. That was our option, regardless of what landfill, transfer station, or wherever we took it. We gave you one price. Okay. In the blue, you'll see that pricing is how many customers on commercial that's truly affected by the on the commercial side. And you'll see that you have 0 customers, where you have a lot of green there. You have 0 customers that are affected by the last 4 pricing items. Those are uncommon schedules for pickup. But if you do look at the blue, obviously those are some things that we, you know, that we knew that we could adjust, and we adjusted those. If you guys have any questions, you need more adjustments, need to discuss that, I am open for that.
Kevin, I actually have 3 questions. The first question is, to complete the entire city of Fort Wentworth for a pickup, you know, still once a week you'll get all the trash?
Yes, and if you,
for some reason, if you don't, how long before the resolution for the customer's trash is picked up? Is it a 24-hour turnaround? Is it a couple hours? Is it time you finish reviewing the video and you coming back? How long will it be? That gentleman right here, you didn't pick up his trash.
if it was a missed pickup, it would be within 24 hours. We would review the video immediately on a call in. That's the only way that we can clear Track Easy. So remember, Track Easy continues to escalate until somebody goes in and fixes it. So, so if this gentleman called in and he called in a miss and we went in and looked at that address and it was truly missed, then what we would do is we would go back within 24 hours and make sure that we receive that before we could check that out of Track Easy.
What about TV and refrigerator pickup?
That would be a part of the bulk, and it would be part of, when I put down there on the bulk, if you look at that, it was, you know, 4 or 5 items there. I know there's a lot of renters here, but it's fine.
So that's for the TV out there, you're gonna pick
We
that up
gotta get
too?
it. We gotta get it.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's no problems with that.
Mr. Exton?
Yes.
Is that still 3 people on the truck?
No, sir. 2 people on the truck. So if you look at the routing that we completed, it's by street address in the bid package. And you know, we would run 2 trucks on Monday and Tuesday. So I would use 21 as a divider for that. So we would run one side of 21 with 2 trucks, okay, and pick up on Monday, and then we would come back and run 2 trucks on Tuesday from the other side. So it would be simplified on how we picked it up. There wouldn't be, you know, over here half the day, over here the next half the day. This is where we would be. So if a customer needed to know, obviously this stuff will be posted on the website. But if a customer needed to know, hey, you had a truck in my neighborhood and this is what happened, and it was on this side of the road, obviously if we were scheduled to be over here, that's where we would be. So there would be no discussion there. So basically just to try to eliminate those problems for the residents. And again, so we would run Monday, Tuesday. 2 times a month we would run on Wednesday would be bulk. And we would run those same 2 trucks on Wednesday for bulk and yard waste.
What about recycles?
Recycle would be Thursday, Friday. And it would be that if you look at it, the schedule is the same on each side of the road. So that's how we would pick it up.
So can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Pertaining to dispatch,
Yes, ma'am.
what's the latest that dispatch is open?
The latest that dispatch is open is 8 o'clock. So I have a dispatcher and I have an assistant dispatcher in there. Our office phone for our, we close at 5:30, the office. Dispatch stays open. So we have someone there completing the routes in the system. We actually moved her in at 10, to come in at 10 so that she could stay later on.
That's
So-
for calls that come in and say my truck ain't been picked up
Yes,
today.
ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. And to be honest with you, we don't have a lot of those calls. You know, and also Track Easy is an important method of scheduling broken carts and things like that. So we keep enough carts to replace. There won't be a time when we bring a raggedy cart out after one's been torn up. We're not going to do things like that. So
What about the ragged car?
just bringing bad carts back out after someone had a cart tear up. We're gonna bring a new cart out there that customer.
Okay.
Also, there was another thing on here that I was looking at on this pricing structure. Just looking at the, that you guys rate, and going through this process, I made some contacts with obviously the local landfill, local transfer station, to get pricing in order to keep this, keep it here. I was basically given this is the pricing that you're gonna get to, kind of push, a little pushback. But, I talked to the owner of the company and he said, Kevin, we're still giving the host fee. We're still giving the host fee to the city. So when I started going through the host fee amount, and I looked at it just based off of the MSW, that's somewhere around $4,500 based off of the tonnage that you guys picked. So I'm not sure where a couple of these numbers came from, but when you take the household garbage at about 35 pounds per the number of homes that you have, you're going to look at about $4,200 a year, in cash back to the city. No matter where we take it, we're still going to do that fee back to the city.
Could you expound a little bit more on Third Eye?
Our Third Eye system, we actually, I get an email every afternoon with driver observation. So we have someone that does nothing but review Third Eye problems throughout the day within our company. So actually within this region. So if they have a Third Eye event where there's a cell phone or there's a hard break or there's a problem in a neighborhood that, we had something happen, she will review that and we'll come back and pull that tape. And then we'll share that tape. She sends me, it starts recording 20 seconds before. So it'll go back and record 20 seconds before that incident actually happened. And it's just been a great tool for us. And like I said, it's a great tool for misses because, I've seen it. I've been in this business now for about 25 years. And, if you've been in the garbage business that long, you know that, you have someone call from a cul-de-sac and say, my trash was missed. Most of the time, the trash is not out there. One person from the cul-de-sac calls. Now, if you got 3 people in the cul-de-sac, or if the cul-de-sac got missed, you might as well send the truck. Okay, my street got missed. But this narrows it down to the actual home, and it narrows it down to the address. So we can go back, we can breadcrumb that truck, and then we can figure out exactly where he was, and go back and look at the video because it's constant, and it saves for 7 days. So that's another positive is those recordings saved for 7 days. So if it was something that happened, if you called me and said, hey, a basketball goal got tore up in White Street, and, you know what truck's in there, all we gotta do is go back, look at that video, and we can actually see the basketball goal get torn up. It's 360 degrees. So when we say 360, you're seeing the guy go pick it up, you're seeing him put it in the back of the truck, all the way around the truck. So that's how Third Eye works. And it was about a $3 million investment for our company. And obviously, with that, it comes, we're held accountable to maintain that system. So at our location, we probably spend about $60,000 every 6 months to maintain Third Eye. So we have them come in. You got some drivers that don't like it. They'll put a piece of tape over it. It'll register and it'll say it's blocked. Gotta go find out what it is. They'll cut a wire. I've seen that happen. It'll automatically send a notice to us that Third Eye's not working on that truck. So they pretty much hit every end of it to make it foolproof to where it can't be damaged.
And during any potential ramp up, if you were awarded the contract, I read in the proposal that you would pull from like different areas to help.
Absolutely. And we do that. I actually sent some of our people up toward Charleston whenever this last storm came in and they thought it was going there. So we ramp up for that. We'll pull people from Florida. You know, sometimes you wind up where this last storm where you've got a mandatory evacuation. What we try to do is have people on standby from other locations that they can come back in to get in here as quick as we can and get things going again. And that's something that I think we've always prided ourselves on. Like I said, we really do a good job for the city of Beaufort and the city of Bloomingdale. Those are our main things around here. But we also have, you know, Georgia Southern, Georgia Forks, and those customers that we handle. And all of those are through Track Easy. So, and all of them are Third Eye. So, you know, pick up the phone and give those guys a call.
Anybody else?
Yes, ma'am. That it? Yes, sir.
What the price that you're done?
When you say the price of them for renting,
Okay, what I'm asking is, for instance, if someone wants to, let's say, do a spring cleanup, instead of trying to pile all that trash in the garbage can, if they could rent a dumpster, a small dumpster.
so that's a good question because we do also offer. We have a service with a 10-yard. So right now I have probably 75 10-yard containers sitting and waiting. And we have a small hook truck is what we call it. It's a driveway truck. So, you know, we use those. That charge is the same charge because of the same cost to drive the truck. Same charge as you would a 20-yard, but you can maneuver this truck in this thing without tearing people's driveways up and sitting down. So we do have that service that we offer. We do a lot of that on the island because most stuff there is really tight on the island, so we can't get the trucks in. But price-wise, it's you know, very competitive. And if you wanted us to put together a price structure for that for residents, I would not have a problem doing that.
Okay, appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, item D, Coastal Transport LLC.
Need a motion on item C, Your Honor.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the solid waste proposal.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Can we make comment at this juncture? Can we make comment regarding certain agenda items at this juncture? Do we need to wait till public comment at a later date or a later time?
If we have a public hearing, you can speak.
Okay.
Okay, Coastal Transport LLC sewage issue. Mr. Champagne? You want to speak? Come on up.
Why is it coastal transport?
I don't know. That's what I was asking my brother.
Chairman Champagne, what should it be?
Should be
My house, 702 Bonnie Bridge Road.
My apologies, I thought it was.
702 Bonnie Bridge.
I will make that correct.
Yes.
So what's the address?
702 Bonnie Bridge Road. Okay, there's actually two things on this, though. This is the sewage and also the flood. Okay, do you want me to start from where I left off?
That's fine, that's fine.
Okay. Where I left off was, how sewage affected into my house. And I filed a claim with the city for $8,000 for materials, and the city denied it.
Mr. Champagne, what date was that? You know?
May 27th, 2017.
2017?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Okay. So does everybody have a copy of everything? No? Okay. When I filed the claim, sent it to the insurance company, the insurance company told me that it was under the $10,000 city deductible, and that the city would have to write me a check. So Monica at Galvin Bassett reached out to the city, and she told me that the city denied the claim because of nature, and it was beyond the city's control. So I went and talked with the mayor at that time about it, and he asked me to take it back to her and explain why I disagreed with the denial, which I was attached. I attached the explanation that it was the city equipment due to all the years and the problems the city had had with sewage. And she came back to me and told me that it was denied again by the administration. So, on July 30th, 2017, in my neighbor's yard in Butler, it's 4 by measure the manhole cover that was installed, sewage spilled out for several hours. So I contacted the EPA, and they came out, investigated, and had the city report back to them what was the cause of the sewage seeping out of the manhole. And the reason given was, first, the city had experienced a rainfall event, which that is actually a false statement, because if you pull up the date, I think I've attached it, from the NOAA, there was 1/100th of an inch of rain on that day, so there was no rain event of any magnitude. It goes on to say that the sewage line runs from a 12 to a 10 to an 8 now to the Waffle House, which needs to be replaced. And then it also, on the other page where I got it highlighted, it says the city has plugged the dead-end manhole, and that'll be either cement or sandbags that they drop down the manhole to plug it up and to stop the overflows. And it says the city has evaluated the pump cycling and power failure to determine the cause, to determine why the standby pump did not keep up with the flow. The evaluation includes pulling both pumps in the station and the Thompson backup pump to visually inspect each pump. So basically, it's saying that the city's had issues with these pumps since they've installed them with overheating and failure, not because of nature. So, I think they, it was not justified in denying my claim for the sewage that came into my house. Yes, sir.
I'd like to say something, what he said is absolutely correct. I was over there the day the rain came, went down there, the belt burned off the pump was not pumping. And, sometime later in the evening, somebody figured out that the valve was closed. But Thompson did come out and put a new belt on it, but what he said was true.
Is it working properly now?
Do they come out and inspect this pump now?
Yeah, they do, they all.
Chris, can you tell me why the pumps failed on Sunday?
One of the pressure transducers failed and we had to replace it.
And how many hours you think I was out of sewage this week?
I don't know how
It was close to 36. I didn't have sewage. Right. So, with all that, what I'd like to do is ask the council to look at this $8,000 bill and maybe reverse the decision made with the evidence that I've given. I don't know how this is supposed to work.
Hey, aren't we trying to do something there to help?
we are, we're actually getting, a separate line taken off of that line and having, a new force main, putting them on a new force main to where they're completely off that line. And have it feeding into and that, he would have no more problems with any kind of backup. Yes.
But what can we do to make the residents that have been affected by this for years whole?
I think we need to make him all the money.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
I agree.
Chris, how long is it gonna take to get that new line in there, to get him off the old line?
It shouldn't take long, it's in the process of being engineered right now.
So take long, not take long by the end of the week, the end of the month, next month?
By the time they get it engineered, I'm sure they'll have to put out a bid and then. they would,
There should be no month.
I'm just telling y'all, I think $1,000. Back up front.
And our talk with one
You got your receipts for the $8,000? And you've already turned them in and it was denied,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Do you have your last claim, Wayne?
Yeah.
Did you have the claim you turned in to the insurance company?
Do not
You have a copy of that?
No, I'm currently living into, well, I'm gonna get to how my house is situated right now, due to the flooding. I'm living out of plastic bins right now, just being prepared, so I can probably dig through it like I want to find it, if that's what it takes, but,
Shouldn't the city have a copy of this
shouldn't
already?
they have a record of it?
Well, this happened, the first time this happened was 2017, but it's happened since then. Like, that's why I'm telling you, I have firsthand knowledge of what he's talking about, because I went to the station the day it rained so hard. The pump was not running, the pump station down where we were at was overflowing. The belt was burned off the pump, so the pump wasn't gonna work. And then hours later, somebody realized the valve was closed on that pump. So, I know they had water in their house that day.
Yeah.
That was a Sunday, it was raining like the devil. And everybody else was with it.
I've dealt with sewage in my house for 20 plus years, so.
So do you have detailed data that shows exactly what you paid to have the work done and the cost? of the
Yes, sir, I
items
submitted
you
all that
had
to Monica,
done?
yeah, for the work I did, yes.
The work you did, so you did the
I did
labor?
I spoke with Brian, and I told Brian in order to try to cut costs and help the city as well, I would do the work myself, to just pay for the materials and the furniture that I had to throw out and replace. And, he told me he would, I even asked if he wanted somebody to come out and look at the damage. And, he said no, because he knows me. And, he knows I wouldn't make this up. And, I do what I said I was gonna do. I submitted the receipts, he forwarded them to the insurance company. And the insurance company went back to the administration, but it was a nice.
Sean, would that be all right for you anywhere?
Writing receipt,
As far as what he turned into the insurance company? Document,
if I can get some specific dates, I can look.
Okay, I mean, I can.
You can provide that though, can't you?
No, I'll come over with something like that. I'll handwrite the receipt if you want it, right? I mean, that's fine. Yeah, it's been 2.5 years, so.
Where you originally done it, if you can.
Yes, sir.
Who's Monica?
I'm sorry?
You keep saying Monica.
Monica Cook at Burma.
At Garma?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Well, she should be able to get that for you, shouldn't she?
Yeah, I'll reach out to her. Yeah, I'll see what she does with it. I don't know what they live in the house, but she should still have
I
a
don't want
record.
to leave you on the hook, guy. I mean,
No, that's fine.
I got first-hand knowledge of what
That's
happened.
fine. I have containers I can dig through. If the city's gonna, remedy this, yes.
Well, I think we should.
I make a motion that we do.
I second it.
As long as we get the receipt.
As long as it
And,
is,
well, I'll just,
Yes.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Anybody opposed?
More specifically, you made a motion that you remedy it, but are you saying remedy it by paying the full $8,000?
remedy.
Whatever he has in
In
this.
contingent of that we get the receipts.
Yes.
Let me step in here. We don't have anything in front of this council to say what this man's costs are. He has not sued the city. I don't see the liability here. And I just want to state
Can I
that.
interrupt you for 1 minute, sir?
It's nothing against you.
No, I understand. I did speak to
I'm
an
just trying to
attorney.
protect the city's interests.
I did speak
And I
to
think
an-
what this council is doing is setting a very bad precedent here. The next time that someone has what they believe to be a problem associated with city services, that you can come before this council and they'll write you a check. Now, I just want to go on the record as council and say, I don't think this is a good idea.
I can understand, but have you looked at all the documentation I have provided?
I've said my piece.
Okay. Okay, I will let you know that I did speak to an attorney, and he informed me, no, you're the attorney, so he informed me that the city has, what's it called?
Sovereign immunity.
Sovereign immunity from that type of, action against the municipality. Okay. So thank you, council.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
I'd like to discuss the flooding now, if that's okay. This is my backyard. Okay? If you have, I live in a swamp now. I had to do this, because the city didn't assist me with this either. Back on 8/24/2017, I emailed Buddy Carter, GDOT, and, several other people in Chatham County, because the city had told me that, I was not a full citizen, that the first 5 feet of my property was city property and the rest belonged to Chatham County, which would be the back of my property. When Jimmy Deloach was constructed, we began to see increased flooding in our area. which I brought to the attention of the city back on May 1st of 2015. I gave a letter with, which is in your packet, notifying them of the excessive stormwater runoff that we were starting to get by our house. Back on 9/7/2017, I received a letter from Buddy Carter telling me he had reached out to Chatham County and they would be in touch. On 9/12/2017, I had GDOT officials, Chatham County officials, and their engineers meet at my property, examine the footage. At that time, GDOT was going to do a study, they called it phase 1 of the area. It took them approximately 7 months to do the study, which during the time, Brad Saxon had come out and talked to me, brought a LiDAR report. It showed, which he would not definitively say what it was, but it was little pink dots behind my property and Ms. Butler's property. And he told me that the reason my flooding was not caused by, well, he was a lot of, I don't speculate it's from Jimmy DeLoach. It's from the city not keeping up with the ditches being dug, which I in turn told him, well, that's a state highway right there, so GDOT should be digging those ditches.
Let me just tell you something.
Yes, sir.
The city's in the process of digging those ditches. We're gonna put a big.
No, I had GDOT with it.
I know, I'm telling you, the city is waiting for the okay, to put the pipe through the Southern Railroad property, Norfolk Southern Railroad property.
Right.
That's coming, it's already been approved, we've already paid for it. All we waiting for is the, okay to get through their property, put this line down. That's gonna alleviate what you're talking about.
That's a joint DOT and city park.
Right. I get that. That's because of me.
But for the record,
Yes.
also, Mr. Champagne, as you well know, the flood elevation on your property is 10 feet. And I think the ground level on your property is 8 feet, thereabouts. And your finished floor elevation of your house is about the same. So your house is actually built below the floodplain.
Okay.
Am I correct?
I'm gonna take it at your word.
Yes, sir. I mean, that it is. I just want to make sure that that's put on the record. I have a house the same way.
Right.
A lot of houses.
But
built-
diverting water to my house,
Right.
stormwater runoff does not help my situation.
Houses were built pre-firm, and pre-firm means that they, there were no rules and regulations at that particular time, so they used, I guess, the best planning 40 years ago that they had, and that's how a lot of these houses got built in floodplains.
Right.
Over time. And there are certain configurations and times and events, no matter what we do, that property is going to flood. When we get these really high tides and the really heavy rains, we're going to have problems in certain areas that you well know.
Right, but I've never had a lake in my backyard.
Well,
And it's not a swamp, but that is due to the increase of the stormwater runoff that's come, because where Jimmy DeLoach is built, there used to be a pipeline that went down 8 foot, everything flows north, okay? So everything from the south flows north. They put a pipe in underneath the railroad to allow the crossgate water to also flow to the north, okay? So when they built a 30-foot levee there, and then Norfolk Southern, I guess they're the ones who say they built a road through their ditch, the only drainage ditch, they said it was a secondary, so they did nothing wrong. Well, if the pipeline was a primary and you fill that up, what becomes the main drainage? That would have been the ditch. But they claim it's the secondary. And they put a road through to come harvest all the trees behind the property and left it in there. This is since 2015. Do you realize how much water has came through my property?
I do understand that, but you also understand that, going on environmentally, where the river levels are rising, water levels are rising. And
Yes.
so those are really going to be.
Yes, but
long-term
3 inches in 10 years
problems.
is not going to make a difference in my property the way it has.
But when you
Yeah,
have
right.
8 inches of rain in one day, there's nothing we can do.
Right, and we've had spring tide before, and I've been there for 30-plus years. I understand the tides, I understand the influx, that's why I understood when, before they completed, when I brought this to the city in 2015, I understood something was not right, and I brought it to y'all's attention. They still had the construction crew out there, they could have dug the ditch at that time. It would have prevented a lot of this from happening. It probably wouldn't happen now. Now I live in a swamp. My front yard is like a bog, okay? My property is ruined. I have Chatham County, I've already talked to Chester Ellis, he was gonna try to be here tonight, also Matthew from Buddy Carter's office was gonna try to attend, but he had a trade convention he had to go to. But what I would like to do, and Chatham County is willing to assist the city, Chester Ellis said, you know, he was gonna try to make it, apparently he could not, but I would like to see my property condemned under, eminent domain. Chatham County is willing to work with the city, but y'all have to communicate. In April, I met with Chatham County. I brought them a hydraulics report. I paid $3,000 for that report out of my own pocket to prove that GDOT did this to the property. It shows the flow over the years. The hydraulics report doesn't lie. Y'all have a copy of it. I gave it to the city.
All right, you tell them to get in contact with us, and we'll talk to them, and like I say, in the meantime, we're still doing this project on Bond Bridge, and I think that's gonna alleviate a lot of that problem now.
Okay, well, can I ask one question then? Sure. Because in that April meeting, I have an email, attached, or exactly where it's at, from Leon Davenport. He copied in Phil Jones, where in April, GDOT actually said that they were gonna pay for y'all to dig the ditch and build
It's
some.
cost sharing, absolutely. And we have to acquire the right of way, and we have to acquire the right of way through a wetlands area, and those processes are underway to get that done. We have to get the right of way easement for it, and it's a slow process.
I believe Matthew has reached out to Brian and offered Buddy Carter's assistance on that.
We have had Mr. Carter's assistant, and we have had conversations with the railroad. We are working with the railroad, but we still have to go through the railroad to get the easement to go onto their property to do the dig.
Correct.
And you're right, it is a joint DOT,
Right. Okay, but here's my problem. You know, I've spent money, I spent a lot of time with it. Because of me, you're actually getting this SPOS dollars now to dig this, okay? Because I've been pushing UDOT for 4 years now, or whatever. But there's no talk of any compensation. There's no talk of repairing the properties. When you move the water out, the house is going to sink. It's going to shift. That's why I'm asking for my property to be condemned under eminent domain.
Okay?
And I would be more than happy to have Chester Ellis give, who should he call?
Call Jimmy Corsi.
Okay. But because on May 10th, I sent you an email and also Phil Jones and was asking the status. Y'all have not answered any mail to me. Y'all not communicated with me at all. That's why that's why I went to the news. That's why I got WTLC out here, because nobody would answer me. Why not talk to me?
Mr. Champagne, we met with WTOC.
I understand that.
Else, and I know Brian's had multiple conversations with you over time. Every time he has a conversation with you, he talks to me and tells me what transpired in that.
Correct, but you were included on the email with Leon Davenport where he also copied Brad Saxon, and he told you, he said that I will copy Phil in so he can reach out to you and let you know what the status was, but you never did. And then on May 10th, I have a copy of the email where I sent you and Mr. Norton, and you still ignore me.
I'm not,
We're waiting for,
I'm living in a prison and y'all are ignoring me. I've been doing all this on my own. I'm glad you think it's funny, sir.
no, I don't think it's funny,
No,
but I do
I'm glad you do.
I do think that you need to.
I would wish no sewage in anybody's house. You know, I have sewage in my house and I have a flood in my backyard, sir. And you're gonna laugh at me.
No, I'm telling you that the flood in your backyard is gonna probably be there the rest of your life and mine and everyone else's because it's not.
I wouldn't have a swamp in my backyard.
It is a swamp in your backyard.
Yeah, yes, it is now.
And it always has been.
No, it has not.
Oh, yeah.
No, it has not.
No, it hasn't. It's after the Jimmy Delusion, when it really became a problem. Now the right side of that.
all right, Mr. Chairman, thank you much.
Okay, I would like to add, I would also, whatever we work out for my property with Chatham County, I would also like to include Ms. Butler. Okay? I would like to offer her the same opportunity.
If they can do that for you, we'll consider it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, item E.
So this is a site plan review application submitted by Eagle Engineering on behalf of Chatham Healthcare Properties, Inc. PIN number 700-10-02-001, located at 1000 Dorset Street for specific development plan to allow a parking lot addition in an in a P-RIP plan residential institution zoning district.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone here to speak for or against?
My name is Jeremy Robertson with Eagle Engineering. We have a pretty simple proposal here. We're proposing to add 22 parking spaces on the right side of the building. This area is currently being used already for parking. It's has some broken pavement and some grass right now, and it's being used for parking. We're proposing to pave it with porous pavement. The porous pavement actually allows for stormwater to infiltrate into the ground, so it'll actually reduce the amount of stormwater that's running off the site.
Is that on Dixie or Dorset?
It'll be off the Dixie.
Are we going to approve it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Anybody got questions for me?
I have, there's some problems with the parking lot up front too. Are you gonna take care of that also?
No,
Holes
just
up there?
We're currently just working to add
Just worried
parking
about-
inside right now.
Well, I sure wish that somebody would address those holes out in front of Pruitt Prison.
I can speak to the owner and let them know to get have that concern.
It's bad.
Anybody else? All right, the public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Yeah, yeah.
Item number F, site plan review application submitted by Chad Sitauer, Kern and Coleman LLC on behalf of Duke Realty for PIN number 7-0039 Alpha 01-003 at 605 Expansion Boulevard for specific development plan to allow a warehouse application in a PI-1 planned industrial zoning district.
Public hearing is now open.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Chad at Railroad Turning Company. This project is located at 605 Expansion Boulevard. It's an existing warehouse to 225,000 square feet. What's before you tonight is an expansion of 106,200 square feet. There's no additional office space. It's only warehouse expansion. And this was actually planned in the previous approval in 2006 for this expansion. The expansion is just occurring at this time. So this is concurrent with the previous approval that took place in the property in 2006. Other than that, I'm glad to answer any questions you may have.
That's overall.
Correct, county fact.
Anybody got a question? Can I get a motion to approve? I'm sorry, public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item G.
Site plan review application submitted by Philip R. McCorkle, McCorkle & Johnson LLP on behalf of LA Savannah Crossgate LLC for PIN number 7-0035-01-008, located at 1500 Crossgate Road, for a general development plan to allow a warehouse in a PI1 planned industrial zoning district.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone here to speak for or against?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry. My name is Philip McCorkle. I won't take long. We rezoned this property north of Crossgate Road. I'm not sure this is working. I think you can probably hear me anyway. In July of this year. Immediately after rezoning, we got a contract in from a national company, but the general development plan has to be modified slightly. When we got it approved, we thought we'd have two warehouse buildings on this property. This is the property between Jimmy Lucha 21 north of Crossgate. We thought there'd be two warehouses, about 200,000 square feet. And we've got a user, which is a national company, which is going to have one warehouse of 118,000 square feet. It'll be not a typical warehouse. This is a fulfillment center, is what they call it, which is, there'll be a few large trucks coming in each day, like 15 at the most. 40% of those will come in at night, between midnight and 2. And then in the building, there'll be 220 people working in 2 shifts, which will sort and get the material ready to be delivered in town and surrounding towns. And then there'll be about 400 additional employees who will drive vans to deliver the merchandise from this facility. So it's a small building with a lot of employees, only about 15 large trucks a day. And so it's much better traffic situation than it was with the 2 general warehouses that were planned. What I handed you, I think you've seen most of this, but I wanted to hand it out to you because the first page has the 2 buildings that were originally planned for the site. The second page shows the site, the general development plan for this one building with the employee parking in the front, the van loading area in the back. The trucks will unload over on the side next to Jimmy Deloach Parkway. And then, of course, the vans park in the back of the property. And what will happen is the employees will come in the morning, park their cars in the van parking area, pick up the van, get it loaded, make the deliveries, come back in the afternoon, get out of the van, leave it, get in their car and go home. So that's how it works, with plenty of parking for the van drivers as well as parking for the inside employees in the front of the building. The exterior of the building is shown on the 3rd page. This is a large national company that has many of these fulfillment centers around the country. I've seen several of the buildings myself. I insisted to them that they needed to bring their A game for this building because I knew it would be important to the people of Fort Wentworth that the building looked nice. And this is the exterior of this building. This is only the 2nd time they've built this prototype, in the country. Most of their buildings are just kind of rectangles with stucco on them, but this is a very, I think, a nice looking building. And I also know that The landscaping along Crossgate's important. Anybody who's ridden down Crossgate, I know many of you do every day, quite often, have seen many of the trees on the north side have been taken down. The water lines and sewer lines that were put in during the development of what's going on so far. And so there's not a lot of trees to save. And so I told them that I think it would be appropriate to come up with a very heavy landscaping plan. And they've done that. On the fourth page, you can see the landscaping plan and what those are the trees and how they will look after about 3 or 4 years of growth. Oak trees, cedar trees, and a lot of understory trees. So I think it will be a very attractive building, very a fun business for Fort Wentworth, with not a lot of heavy truck traffic at all, with good landscaping. And I'd ask that you approve the general development plan, and then we'll be coming back next month with a specific development plan after it has been reviewed by the city staff.
All right, Mr. McCorkle, this is going to dump out on 21 and Crossgate?
The vans will all come into the site on 21. As many as possible will leave on 21 during the heavy traffic time of the day. If they need to go left, some will go on Crossgate, but many will use the 21 exit. All will enter in 21, many will exit in 21. There's a median break on sheet 2 where you see that road going from the van parking area out to 21. There's a median break there, and so you can go left or right. You know, so it's not like everybody has to go to the flags. So it works quite well.
Anybody got any questions? Can I get a motion to approve? Oh, the hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion to approve? Motion to approve. Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. I'm sorry, Dave.
Application to amend the zoning map submitted by Stephen E. Shearer, Montgomery, and Paul PC on behalf of Greenland Developers, Inc. for PIN number 7-0977-01-027 and 7-0977-01-028 and 7-0977-02-002 Henley Drive and Monteith Road, to rezone the properties from PC3 Planned General Development to PI2 Planned Industrial.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone here to speak for or against?
Good evening. My name is Steve Shearer, and I represent Greenland Developers in this case. Before I begin with my presentation, I'd like to...
Is that microphone all with?
Okay, it's hold it up to you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Hey, down, hold it up. Hold it up.
I'm so clumsy, I'll probably drop it.
No.
I'd like to point a personal privilege before I begin my presentation. Before I begin, as I stated, for some of you may or may not know, I'm the city attorney for the town of Cooley. And why is this relevant? Because 2020 is 6 weeks away. Now, what does 2020 mean? It means that we go through a new census, and that triggers a reevaluation of the local option sales tax. The last time we had this, the poor and Fort Wentworth stuck together against the county and the city. And as a result, both cities, because they stuck together, got millions of dollars for their tanks. And my point is, I would not be here if I was going to jeopardize that unity that those two West Side cities have. I told that to the developer, and they spent a lot of time with it. And I can say that I would not be here if I thought that in any way what we were doing would have an adverse impact. Now let me begin my presentation. I know I just got back from the Mayo Clinic, so I'm probably a little hyped up. So, but first of all, I want to explain a couple of things that are basically red herrings. There has been a lot of talk about how this property can revert back to agriculture. That is absolutely not true. Absolutely not. The provision in the code that was years and years ago, I don't believe has ever been used, and I call upon your city attorney to tell you that that provision is unconstitutional. There's no question about it. I stake my reputation on it, and I believe your city attorney will confirm that Roberta clause has no application in this case. Am I right, Mr. Forsey?
Mr. Shear and council, I researched this issue back in August of 2018 and brought a legal memorandum to this council and requested that council begin to take steps to change the ordinance and remove that provision. I agree with Mr. Shear. If this case were to be held in court based upon that reversion clause in this ordinance, it is almost a certainty that the court would find it unconstitutional.
Thank you. I hate to put another city attorney on the spot, but I felt like I had to. Now, let me talk a little bit about the zoning as it is now. Right now, the property is used as undeveloped land, and that's not what you're here to decide. It's what the zoning is, not what the use is. The use right now is undeveloped land. It is commercial zoning. And what we're asking to do is add zoning that will do something that no other zoning in Fort Wentworth has. It has protection for the adjoining landowners. Mr. Mayor, is it possible for me to give each one you and the city council member what it is? I'll put this out for the people that they can see, so they can see. I'm sorry, I'm jumping again. Well, if I can, the property now is zoned, the zoning on the property now only has a 10-foot setback, not a buffer. In fact, the I-2 zoning, or the I zoning, is the only zoning in Fort Wentworth that has a buffer that protects the neighborhood. It's the only zoning that does. If you look at what you have in front of you, you'll see this little, that gray area. And it's hard to see on the small one. Can we turn that around for 1 minute? It's harder to see on the smaller one. This is the setback on the property as it's currently zoned. You see how little that is? Okay. Once it goes to I-2, the zoning requirements would be for pink part. Okay? That is the minimum, that's what's required by the ordinance. The site plan has a buffer, undisturbed natural, exactly what it is now, has an undisturbed buffer with the green zone. So you have 20 times the buffer for the, that's a residential property. That's 20 times the buffer that the current zoning requires. So that's exactly what it's going to look like. So they're protected. Now, what are the other positives on this? Let's talk about fiscal responsibility. Well, first of all, how many jobs is this going to create? There'll be 200 to 280 office-related jobs, 40 to 40-plus warehouse-related jobs, and so a total of somewhere between 240 and 320 employees brought in. In addition, let's talk about taxes, something we all love to talk about. Right now, the current taxes over a 5-year period, Fort Wentworth would get $2,405 over 5 years. The county would get $6,100. The school board would get $8,750. Now, the projected revenue, if this project is brought forward, Fort Wentworth would get $582,000. What can you do with that? Education, job development, recreation. The school board would get $2,118,000, and the county would get $1,470,000. That's in addition to the added bargaining power we would have in local option sales tax. Now, let's talk once again about the improvements that we're going to do. Sewage, water and sewer is something that is, we're not going to ask anybody to be forced to join in locate the water and sewer. That's not going to happen. What we are going to do is extend the sewer at our expense, saving the city about $1 million. And if anybody wants to tap into it, they can. And eventually, you know, progress is coming. I think Mr. Barbie said it best. You know, you're a growing city. You need planning, and you know, the septic tanks there are not going to continue to do something. We've heard horrendous reports about sewage coming out in there too. In this case, there will be an opportunity later on, if people want to do it, to hook up. Let's talk about, and I'll let Mr. Burns go on to the actual site plan. We expect to do $2.5 million worth of improvement at our expense on Henley Road. There'll be an acceleration lane, a separate right-left turn lane, dedicated truck U-turn, no trucks on Monteith Road at all. And then during the construction, we were told that they closed Monteith Road. I saw that. We will make sure that there will be access through at least one way of access at all times through Monteith Road. The stormwater, we have committed, and we will meet or exceed all of the city, county, and state requirements. So those are all the benefits. And what are the detriments? People don't want that property to be developed. But the problem that you have is that property is going to be developed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's ready. We have people already making applications for us. But if Mr. Burns will explain to you what will happen if you don't protect the citizens. And the citizens have been told on Facebook and God knows what else, that, oh, we can turn it into a park, or it will revert. That's not going to happen. Something's going to change, and what you have to decide is, do you want to have control of that change, or do you want to have the 10-foot setbacks? They could put, on a setback, there's no protection. They could park on the setback. I believe in 2007, you approved the site plan, not that approved it with 10-foot setbacks. So you have an opportunity here to not only assist all the citizens of Fort Wentworth with higher revenue, but to, and I know nobody likes to hear, you know, lawyers make a lot of promises, and that's why I did the point of personal privilege, because my reputation's on the line. And the reputation takes 40 or 50 years to build. It takes about 20 seconds to destroy. And I would not be doing this if I didn't feel in my heart that this is the right thing for all the citizens of Fort Wentworth, monetarily, protection-wise, and it's in the best interest of all the cities. I'll call on Wilson.
Thank you. Good evening.
What's your name?
Wilson Burns, Greenland Developers. We purchased the property there on Henley Road a number of years ago. When we purchased it, as Mr. Scheer was mentioning, it currently had the zoning of PC2 and PC3 on the property, and a site plan that was brought before City Council and approved back in 2007. So we didn't do anything with the property the first few years we had it, and then as we began planning on it, and as we've come to Fort Wentworth and got to know the citizens and what their complaints on the property and their concerns of the property, we've moved forward to design the site plan that you see here on the poster board to try to address the concerns. And I think tonight you'll hear a lot of people that are here to speak for the project and a lot of people that are here to oppose the project. And I think the opposition will speak towards the fact that they like the property as it is today, as it physically is today, from a aesthetic standpoint and from a traffic standpoint. But in reality, the project looks that way today, but the project that could be there is fully approved, as we just heard Mr. Shear confirm and the city attorney confirm. And that's really what I'm here to propose to you, is that our proposal here, it far outweighs what is currently there. And so we've gone and you see the green swaths around the buildings there on the project are the buffers that Mr. Shear showed you the example of the width of compared to what's currently approved. And then the tree landscaping there along Henley Road, where there'll also be a 50-foot buffer that currently the plan has no buffer. There'll be a 50-foot buffer, as well as live oak trees planted down it for landscaping. We'll also, so from an aesthetic standpoint, those things with the buffers and the plantings on Henley Road feel a whole lot more like what they see there today versus what we could do if we developed it as the site plan is approved, which is clearing everything from property corner to property corner. Putting a fence up around the property, down the survey lines, and paving right up to it, parking trucks on it. The setback on it is for buildings. There is no setback for fences, for pavement, for parking vehicles, or the items that are for sale. So I'd like to show you a few pictures that I took around town that provide some examples of the buffers and the way we would like the project to look should we be approved here tonight. This picture here is the entrance of Savannah River Trade Park on Highway 21. And I took this on a Sunday morning to reference that typically these warehouses don't operate on the weekends and on Sundays, which is a concern out in the Monteith area with the churches out there. So there's 7 million feet of warehouses in that park. The buffer there is similar or smaller than the buffer that we proposed. And you can't even see, there's a warehouse just on the other side of those trees. You can't see it. This is a closer view of that buffer. You can't see the warehouses through there. The buffer's just not there. However, the current site plan approves for, amongst other things, truck repair shops. And like I said, the property line would be the chain link fence there along the back of the ditch bank along Henley Road. And this building could be built, constructed, all without any further approvals needed from the city. This is what the residents should be focusing on today, whether they're opposing our project that we have planned, or do you want it or this? Because this is what they seemingly have asked us to build them, but I think they're really asking us to leave it like it is today, undeveloped. At some point, we've invested in the property and we've got to move that investment forward. It's another business that's currently in the zoning that's approved, a truck sales center, a hydraulic shop. It's in the current approved zoning. This is a truck sales center. I took this picture at the back of a local truck sales center. And I took it to the back gate because I believe the truck sales center located on Henley Road
If they were on the interstate side of it, their good-looking facade would be out on Interstate 95, and their back gate that they didn't maintain so well would be coming off the Henley Road, and this is what you'd see, you know, as you travel down Henley Road. Just another picture of the same business through the fence. Yet another used truck sales center. Just more of the things that are approved there. And this picture again goes back to what we proposed to do on Henley Road. There's a 1 million square foot building on the other side of this buffer. The live oak trees are planted down the right of way to give it the feel, you know, as much as we can accommodate anywhere we can listen to what they've asked for today. No, this isn't exactly what you have today with growing trees on the property, but it far exceeds the plan that's laid out there now. We've heard stormwater concerns. We've had, the engineer has redesigned the site. Most of the site today does flow across Monteith Road and to Augustine Creek. We've redesigned to change that flow, so the majority of the property will flow the stormwater toward Littlehurst Branch, and even less of the water flow than is today will be going toward Monteith Road. Further than that, the current approved site plan has 15% more rooftop and concrete than what we're proposing. So more stormwater runoff than what we're proposing by 15%. Mr. Shear mentioned to the fact that we propose to run water and sewer so that when the residents are ready to tap into it, it will be available. They won't be forced to, but it will save the city around $1 million of having to run the line down Henley Road. Over $4 million every 5 years of tax revenues. You know, for the citizens of Greater Port Wentworth, that's huge. Save millions of dollars on road, water, and sewer. Over 300 permanent jobs that we're committed to hiring local individuals from, and you'll hear from the Empowerment Center that we've partnered with here tonight. We'll also speak. And from a temporary standpoint, you'll hear from the local carpenters union, who we've also partnered with to hire local people to build this project. We appreciate your consideration here tonight.
Can I ask you, what about the roads? Did you say anything about the quality of roads? Is that going to be upgraded?
Yeah, so, the board there, so the current approved site plan that's approved has no requirement to do anything to Henley Road. No improvement to Henley Road. What we propose is to spend $2.5 million of our private money to improve Henley Road. It will include, at the intersection, a dedicated left-hand turn lane, the acceleration ramp here going up Highway 21, as well as you see going down the road, is 3 and 4 lanes wide down most of the road with wider shoulders out past the road. So much safer road, plenty of room for the trucks to get off the road and out of the way when they're turning in their buildings, as well as something we've seen work quite effectively on Crossgate, the truck U-turn, so that when a truck driver misses the last turn in and gets to the posted sign, he's where am I going to turn around? And he doesn't have to go to the end of the road and utilize someone's yard. He gets to the posted signs, he's missed his turn, and there's a concrete truck U-turn for him to turn around in. All of these improvements total about $2.5 million, which is none of which is required in the current plan.
Have you had a traffic study?
There was a traffic study done with the development impact study, but there's also been some misinformation out there about DOT denying the red light at the property. We have verified with the Department of Transportation that they have not studied it. The only way they do study is for the city's request or for the project's request. They've never had a request and they've never studied it nor denied it. And they would be happy to study it at the city's request or if the development proposed to put it there. But they don't have the opinion and they have never rendered it to anyone that there cannot be a red light put at that location.
When was the study that you talked about made? I mean, what year was it made?
So, I'm sorry, what was that?
You had mentioned earlier that there was a study done. Could you tell me what year this study was done?
Brad.
Yes, Chad Zittrow with Kearney Company. So as you're aware, there's, this application's been filed several times. There's been two development impact assessments filed in conjunction with, which provide traffic counts, and we went through a scenario of improvements to be made to Henley Road. And those are the accommodations, basically the traffic counts that were all included in the development impact assessment. One of those was done in 2018 and one in 2019.
Question. You said you're going to not have trucks go down Monteith. How are you going to prevent that?
That's, you know, truck turnaround, Mr. Burns has pointed out, along with the signage. I mean, as you, it's been discussed before, we'll do everything that we can do to prevent trucks from going that 119. We know people disobey traffic laws, and, you know, we're going to do everything that we can do to prevent that. Currently, there's a little bit of restriction in signage that I think the city has put from both ends of Monteith and Mine Hard, and there's a few trucks that go by, and we think with what we're providing the turnaround, that will decrease from what occurs currently.
Because I know there's those same type signs there behind Bojangles and Taco Bell and Dunkin' Donut on the other side of 95. And trucks still go down it. They get ticketed all the time. But my concern is they're going down the road that's residential with children. And my concern is none of this is worth a child's life.
We would 100% agree, and I think what are we doing? We're providing the turnaround area at the dead end before you get Monteith. You get past our warehouses, you know, we've got the road improved, you get the stop sign, right at the stop sign, it's our turnaround area. So there's no reason to go past that. And when you ask what we're doing as part of our development project, that's our big issue.
Further, the current site plan, you know, we will be largely truck-based businesses. There are going to be trucks on Henley Road entering that development. No different than the proposed development.
Because there's a lot of traffic that comes down Monteith and up Henley from Effingham County. The people there in Lake Shore and all in that area, they come down that way to bypass Highway 30 and 21 at that light. I mean, that's a lot of cars going down there, and then you want to mix all these trucks in with those cars.
And then you got the coming, Ben Boulevard extension as well.
Right.
That's gonna add more.
But and that's where we're saying these improvements are so beneficial that we're looking to do with our new proposal, where the current proposal has no improvements. There's no dedicated left lane. There's no acceleration ramp being paved up the viaduct. There's none of those improvements. No widening of the shoulders, making it safer for the children traveling down the road.
Well, we all know that we would have officers to write tickets and different little things that we live in a world that people didn't break laws and follow the rules. So what I'm saying is, what is there in place for these trucks not to go down that road and interfere with the homes down there? There's nothing.
Turnaround lane.
The turnaround lane is not there. I mean, will they adhere to that?
Well, they'd be crazy not to.
That's almost like a speed bump.
Well, we put a dozen or so warehouses on Crossgate Road. There's a turnaround there, and still go down Crossgate.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's one or two that get through, Sometimes, you know,
But
that's just the way
we have
it is.
to understand, what's it gonna be if it's developed as it's currently developed? There will be no turnaround. There will be no road improvements. And that, you talk about safety, that is, you have to look at it, not what's there now, because it's not gonna be there. What's gonna happen is, this way, you do it with at least the turnaround lane and the traffic improvements. And then, if you don't do it, then you have nothing, nothing.
Well, let me ask you this question, and it's a very simple one. Would either of you want to have this in your own backyard?
As opposed to a truck stop like that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, not, no questions if asked about it.
Yeah.
So why you wanna put it in my backyard?
Versus the truck stop and the tire shop, no question.
So you'd be comfortable having this in your backyard, all hours of the night, whatever, I mean.
The warehouse operates a whole lot less hours than a truck stop. I'd like to show you 2 videos to that point from that same Sunday morning. I took the other pictures.
And you would rather,
The warehouse, you see, it's got, and I don't know if we can get the sound on, the warehouse, you got nothing going on in there on Sunday morning. You got birds chirping. Where, if we go to the next slide, the truck stop. The truck stop, every hour of every day of the year, there are trucks in there running. So talk about, what would I rather have behind my house? Which would you rather have behind your house, the truck stop or the 200-foot buffer?
how about NEPA?
Well, that's not an option.
You have that option.
Well, the property, we just heard the property couldn't be reverted.
Cannot. I'd like to turn it over to some people that have studied the project and have something that I think y'all have never heard before. Let's get the labor people, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Betty Settles, and I represent the Carpets Local here in Savannah, the apprenticeship program. The reason I'm supporting this project, 2 reasons. I've never heard a developer putting out $2.5 million to do something for the city. Most of the time they come to y'all on tax incentives to come to your city. Most places I've seen around where I've been, a county's got to give incentives for people to come do development on their job. I'm looking for 2 things. I'm looking for jobs for our members. Right now, I'm sending most of my members to South Carolina, Mississippi, and Kentucky to go to work. They live right here in Fort Wentworth. This is a blue-collar town, always been a blue-collar town. I want my members to work here in this town, make a decent wage, make a decent benefits, and they can go home. You ask the question, would I want this place at my house? Yes, sir. Because I want my wife and my daughter to work at their house, not have to drive to Brunswick to go to work. So would I want my wife and my daughter to have a place to come to work in a warehouse like he's trying to build? Yes, sir, by all means. Now, they could go to Pilot and have to worry about being mugged at 2 o'clock at night when somebody goes in there at 2 o'clock at night, because them's only 24 hours a day.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
You said at any cost, right?
And what cost you talking about?
You mentioned earlier that you would have this at any cost. Am I correct?
No, sir, I did not say that. All I said is I'm trying to get jobs for my members and my apprentices. The apprentices right here that want to work at home. And you asked the question just a minute ago, would I want this in my backyard? If it would put my wife and my daughter home and work at their house 20 minutes from their yard, yes, sir.
So that means you would be in favor of this, even if it destroys the lives of people who have lived in this community for years, for decades.
Sir, you gonna have, would you say, when I first came here 23 years ago, Hooter was a very small, Fort Wentworth was very small. It's growing leaps and bounds.
Right.
It is not the same place I came 23 years ago. even where I'm at.
Well, Wentworth is not the same.
That's not, that's what I'm saying, so there's gonna be changes.
Yeah.
And all I'm trying to do, and again, sir, I'm here because I've never heard a developer want to put his own money out to make something better. That's something that I'm pretty proud of. I wouldn't be up here if I didn't believe in a developer. When I seen what he was doing, I rode there myself for last week, went there every day. And what I'm seeing, when I'm looking at my members and I'm saying, hey, this guy right here is gonna put 2.5 million.
You mentioned earlier that you would have this at any cost. Am I correct?
No, sir, I did not say that. All I said is I'm trying to get jobs for my members and my apprentices. The apprentices right here that want to work at home. And you asked the question just a minute ago, would I want this in my backyard? If it would put my wife and my daughters home and work at their house 20 minutes from their yard, yes, sir.
So that means you would be in favor of this, even if it destroys the lives of people who have lived in this community for years, for decades.
Sir, you gonna have, would you say, when I first came here 23 years ago, Pooler was a very small, Fort Wentworth was very small. It's growing leaps and bounds.
Right.
It is not the same place I came 23 years ago, even where I'm at.
Fort Wentworth is not the same.
That's not, that's what I'm saying, so there's gonna be changes.
Yeah.
And all I'm trying to do, and again, sir, I'm here because I've never heard a developer want to put his own money out to make something better. That's something that I'm pretty proud of. I wouldn't be up here if I didn't believe in development. When I seen what he was doing, I rode there myself for last week, went there every day. And what I'm seeing, when I'm looking at my members and I'm saying, hey, this guy right here is gonna put $2.5 million of his own money to make this development happen. When it can put these young people right here that's learning their trade, a job where they can be at home, they can coach, they can go to their churches, they can help pay taxes. Yes, sir, I'm up here to support this project. Now again, some people might say, well, I'm in it for my own reason. I got nothing to lose here. I can still send my members to Plant Bogle, Plant Hatch, or anywhere else, but they want to be working at home. And that's what I'm up here for, because I see a tax, I mean, $2.2 million going to the school board. That's unheard of. Think about it, $2 million going to the school board. How many kids to be helped by $2 million on the school board? $1 million coming to the county and $500,000 coming to the city. Again, that's revenue that's coming back to the city to make this a better city for our community, for our kids, and for our future.
But I go back to the question.
Yes, sir.
What cost?
What it cost?
And what cost?
Sir, I can't tell you that. I'm a carpenter.
I think these people can.
I'm a 30, and I understand that. I'm a 36-year carpenter, been a beneficiary for 23 years. I've been in the community for 23 years. I can talk about what I've seen in 23 years. I've seen a development go up and go up. That place is gonna get developed whether we like it or not. Now, we can sit there and say, we want it the old way, we want it the same way we've always had it. I don't want nobody there right beside me 10 years ago, now I got people all around me. It's gonna happen. People, they've got that land, that's his land, that's 100 acres of land, it's gonna be developed by somebody.
Yes, that's fine.
And I've heard people say, well, let's put motels, let's put restaurants on it. Is that gonna generate jobs?
Yeah.
Is it gonna generate enough jobs and good paying jobs to maintain? There's Applebee's right down the road that got shut down. I looked at that yesterday. That's a nice restaurant, it got shut down. I've heard people want to put a Dave & Buster's there. Dave & Buster's not going to that corner.
Too small.
It's too small, it's not coming. You done got motels across the road. That place, I mean, when I asked the guy, I said, wait a minute, you couldn't have heard that guy in the radiator shop. He said, no, I made provision for that guy in the radiator shop. He's gonna put a road in there and make it better for that guy in the radiator shop. So he's giving that guy a better business sense, plus he's giving everybody easement in and out. Right now, it's a 2-lane road. He's doing something way more than what he has to do. And again, I'm not trying to take up your time, sir. I'm just a person that's a developer, that's a true good corporate citizen. And I've seen a bunch of developers that come in and don't care one darn about this planet. They care about only profit this guy. He put $2.5 million of his own money to make it better for everybody. And if he can present jobs for this city, that's kids staying home. When we see our kids graduate, We want them to stay home. We want them to be here at this house, not go away to the next town. We want them here. And if he's gonna give our apprentices an opportunity to work and learn their trade and be better corporate citizens for the next generation, that's what we all here for, to find our replacements, to take our job sitting right here. But this decision you don't have to make. I'm just here to tell you what I've seen from a developer. I've seen nothing but, I've seen a lot of developers who care less. I've seen him doing a great job. $2.5 million he's putting back in it. And think about this, one thing you gotta think about, $2 million going back to the school board is a heck of a thing not to have. I appreciate your time and thank you.
I got the other people that want to come on in and show your support, and anybody else that wishes to speak.
Are they signed up?
Yeah, you got them?
Are they signed in? They don't have to sign up in the public hearing. So we can sign with them. You do not have to sign up in the public hearing.
Okay.
Interesting, I thought we always had to sign. No.
Your name and address, sir?
Hunter Triplett, 640 Mount Hart Road. I live in the area. I'm a resident of Fort Whittle. I'm 100% for this project. I see the good things they're doing with the road, and where are you gonna get that? If the road stays as the way it is, it's not safe. It's not gonna be safe with the development. What these guys are proposing, it's great. And I hope y'all guys can realize and really put your head around what they're going to do and what the alternative is. And let's pick a better one. And I appreciate y'all's time and hope y'all make a good decision. Thank you.
My name is Lou McGriner. I live at 1112 Mount Hart Road on the other end of Monty. And I came here tonight, I don't know any of these people. None of these developers at all. The only person I know is Mr. Shear, and I know him from law enforcement. And I don't think Mr. Shear would have said what he said tonight if he wasn't being true. These people have laid out a beautiful plan. Okay? They showed you where the trucks would turn around, you know, and then the statement was made they're gonna run over our children. I think it's the people coming through Effingham in the cars you gotta worry about running over your kids. I don't think it's got nothing to do with the big truck. And let's be honest, okay?
Address them.
The only reason that people don't want it in the area is because you lived there forever. I lived on Godly Road with my grandparents. It's all warehouses now, okay? Because progress is coming. Whether you like it or not, it's kind of like life. One day you're gonna die. We all got to be there. And I understand that you don't want to give that up. But this gentleman's coming in with a project that's gonna put all this money to widen that road, to make it better, to run the sewer, to run the water. And I don't know about you, but if your well goes out, you got $8,000 or $10,000 to put one in like that?
Put it in.
Like that. When you could hook up the city, but you don't have to hook up the city. You don't have to hook up the city.
He's addressing us. He's addressing us. And he's addressing
And I want to speak to the citizens. These people will make up their own minds. I want to speak to the citizens. Can I do that? Can I speak to the citizens? No. Okay.
I'm sorry, face us.
Shut up.
And that's the bottom line. And I understand that, because we all grew up somewhere, and we don't want to let go of that. But like I said, when I seen all this stuff, I've never seen a developer come in and want to do that to actually help the people. Everything they have done, they've taken into consideration for everybody. Now you say, well, Mr. Griner, you live on the other end. So what business is it of yours? My wife goes to work every day at Gulf Street. She goes that way. I go that way. And we have to deal with the traffic. And I'd like for them to do something with the road to make it a lot better. But if they don't do that, these commercial people come in, nothing changes, and then you have more gridlock. And those people ain't gonna do nothing for you. All they're gonna worry about is getting a paycheck. And like I said, I know y'all don't care nothing about taxes and all this stuff that we're gonna get because you wanna hold on to your property. Yeah. Nobody's trying to take your property. There is no giving, no nothing. All this stuff belongs to this gentleman. And he's being kind enough to try to make everything better for everybody. And the bottom line is, you just need to ask yourself, if you don't go with this, I think you're gonna regret it. And that's all I gotta say.
We'll regret it.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and
welcome to this distinguished city council. I have one hat that I want to remain neutral with. I am State Representative Carl Gilliard, but tonight I come as a citizen that is the executive director of the Empowerment Center. When we, months ago, when I heard about this project, actually last year, I'm a good listener. And even as I was sitting earlier, and I'm just asking humbly with my back turned, sometimes we just have to listen. And if we formulate our opinions before we listen, we might not get the final outcome. And so for months and months, I've just been listening. I've been coming. I have friends that are in Fort Worth. I have family. But one of the things I've been doing is listening. What's the minimum wage in Georgia? Anybody know? It's $5.15. I've been listening. As the chairman of International Trade and Commerce, traveling around the state, I see logistics and port and opportunities for growth. In Garden City, we're starting to grow. It's hard to let go of the landscape of where we've been, but I've been listening. So what's happening is that with the Empowerment Center, we're trying to get people into sustainability. Mama is working 3 jobs to make the 1 job work. Daddy don't even have a job because he came home as a returning citizen and he's trying to come into reentry, but they have stereotyped him as a convicted felon. These opportunities for jobs are now careers because the average pay in the warehouse is about $15. It's life changing. So now we talk about careers because I heard about 200 and some odd jobs, administrative jobs that are careers. And I know that we have this visual of what we see and what we can't see, but I'm just going to ask tonight that we move from what is to what ought to be. At the Empowerment Center, what we're doing, Mr. Mayor and Council, we're getting people on their feet. We're getting people into homes, 146 homes, from renting to buying a home. We've got people from financial literacy. I'm a person that I know that I've been there before. And so when you talk about sustainability, for the opportunity for these particular careers, to get people on their feet. And the other thing I've just been listening, I've heard about all the different parables of traffic and sewage and possibilities of people running over kids. That's everywhere, because Lord have mercy, in Garden City, I have a 13-year-old that goes to school and a 16-year-old every day, right across from Groves High School. I have to pray and cross my fingers that nothing happens. But it's a part of life. What I'm saying to you today is just listen, because these developers that have come in, they have listened to you. And they have tried to put some very tangible resources. When they were talking about $2 million and $1 million and $250,000, the average businessman or woman comes into our communities and they take, and they put nothing back. It's an opportunity to listen. I ask for your favorable consideration, Mr. Mayor, and members of council tonight, just to listen. Because if we can get these young people, because I've been hearing about young people, we got to give them careers. We got to give them hope. And when they come to Fort Whitworth, watch this. Can I just say it, Mr. Mayor? When they come to Fort Whitworth, and I was sitting there, I'm just trying to be obedient, and they see the leadership, they say, one day I'm going to be just like these leaders. So we have to be careful that now we don't give them an opportunity not to have an opportunity to have hope. When we move Fort Whitworth forward, Mr. Mayor, we move Georgia forward. Tonight I ask for your favorable consideration. Let's move Georgia forward. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Joshua Maynard, 130 Crossgate Road. I'm an operations manager, and numbers are a big part of what I do. And the numbers that are presented here are that it's undeniable the benefit that they'll have in this community, to this city. Yet earlier in this meeting, you had an issue of increasing insurance costs. That's covered 100-fold here. It's the best option that I've seen in any type of similar development to this. And, I mean, everything from the intersection improvements, the money that's going to be put in by the developer, again, is unheard of. And it seems like an opportunity that they've created that is far better than what was probably going to happen here. And if something like this is allowed to slip away, then I think you're setting, again, a bad precedent for other opportunities to be sidelined by opinions and not the actual numbers. It's a great opportunity for the city, for the community, and for the future of Fort Wentworth residents. And I think it deserves its just consideration here. Thank you.
Anybody else want to speak forward? Excuse me.
Is this where your line is? Okay, that's right.
No, I believe, Mr. Mayor, this is people that are for the project, not against it.
Okay. My name is Carrie Smart, and I live at 109 Ferguson Road, right in the Monteith area. And what I wanted to say to the council, to the mayor, if this is approved, we as citizens in Monteith, we're gonna be boxed in. And not only that, they say that they can't even answer the question. They can't guarantee that 18-wheelers will not come on Monteith Road. And I should have taken my phone and took a picture. I was at the bus stop at Ferguson and Monteith Road. And what surprised me was an 18-wheeler that was passing by the Promised Land Farm headed toward Minehart. And I said, well, now, I should have taken a picture. And I could have brought it here and showed you. And I'm not against progress being made, but this is a terrible place to build warehouses. It's a terrible place. And I'm just saying there's children in the community, there's churches that have children in the community, and I just want to say, maybe you really don't really care, but my mom told me when I was 5 years old, I was hit. A car hit me on Monteith Road. And the doctors gave me up. They said there was nothing else they could do for me. But thank God I'm standing here right now to tell the story. And they can't guarantee anything. It's just, I hope that you don't sell us out because of the money that they have been mentioning. They mentioned money, 500,000, 1 million, 2 million. Is it about the money? Yes. I've been a citizen here at Fort Wentworth for years. I mean, next month I'll be 71 years old. And I love this city. But I want the city to look out for us as being citizens right here in Fort Wentworth. And you know what? I took her to gymnastics on Wednesday. When I came out of Henley Road to Highway 21, I couldn't even get out and I couldn't even see the end of the traffic. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Now we dealing with all that traffic now. Can you imagine 18-wheelers coming out of Henley Road to 21? Can you imagine? I'm telling you, it's a terrible mistake. I can just see accidents waiting to happen. I mean, I got hit when I was 5, and thank God I'm still here. But it might not be the same with someone else. It's a terrible idea for them to bring warehouses in here. I thought Jimmy DeLoach and other areas, they could come up with something else in another area other than our area, our residential community area. So I hope that the council and the mayor would really consider this because it's a disaster waiting to happen.
Thank you, ma'am.
And once again, I'm sorry you were hit, but that was 7 years ago. People do get hit. People that are for the project. I think this is from the people that are against it.
Who's next?
We fought the city so much, I thought we'd go up and chat it.
No. What is that?
They were against it.
I just don't care.
You like her good?
We got one more.
Go ahead and sit.
William Piper, 1100 Minehart Road. William Piper, 1100 Minehart Road. I've been a resident of Fort Whitworth since 1994. And we have fought the city about development and how to preserve and protect Minehart Road. To protect the character. Now we got Benton Boulevard in my backyard. And when I look at this project, I see that the current proposal is Grange Road. Are you going to put Grange Road? I know that Fort Whitworth downtown has to live with Grange Road. I do not want to have to drive down Grange Road to get to my home in Minehart and Fort and Monteith. I've looked at this project and I think it would be a beautiful gateway to the Monteith Minehart neighborhood. Preservation, you want to keep the trees, then the city needs to buy the property. That's the simplest, the only way to maintain the status quo. I look across the street every day from me, and I miss those beautiful trees that are now lakeshore. It was a beautiful bunch of trees between Minehart Road and 80. There were no exits on I-95. But surely we're not going to ever go back to that. And Fort Whitworth is not some kind of indigenous place where the people are going to be preserved and nothing's ever going to change. We're not a fishbowl. But so I really feel that this project would be better for our neighborhood than turning it into Grange Road. Thank you. Thank you.
I just want to say, there's been a huge misrepresentation here tonight of what our community wants. We want to see our community develop the lie that they're telling, that we want it to stay woods and never be developed, and that these people have a right to do something with their land. That is true, and we have never said anything different. What we want is something that we can live with. And what they've done is they've gone out and they've selected the absolute worst possibilities to show you and to show others in this room that they've been out convincing that that's what we would get. And that's not true. We wouldn't have to get the worst of what he has shown. You as a council, the planning commission, you have the power, you have the ability to make requirements on anything that would go into a C3 that is currently zoned at, instead of this monstrosity that will cause every one of us who live in that area to have the poorest quality of life. And this It's not necessary. It's not, and we're not against development. But we want smart development. We want development that's gonna bring services to our community. Can there be something that goes on that land? Yes. And the city could buy it. And they can spend for their reasoning of the millions of dollars they're gonna spend on a road. How much do you think they're going to profit? Which has not been stated here tonight. They can spend that in millions, that road. And it's only gonna be the portion from 21 to Monteith, but the rest of the road that we have to drive along without fighting the trucks, hopefully, which is all not true, we all know that. How are we supposed to live? How are we supposed to live? It's not about us not wanting development. And I'm gonna leave you with that.
Thank you, Ms. Hester.
Mrs. Hester, before you go, I have one quick question for you, please, ma'am. Do you know of any other land on Manhart in Monteith that's up for sale?
Yes, I do.
To be changed to, commercial value?
No. It's residential agriculture as far as I know.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Hester.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jesse Bennett, 1480 Chatham Parkway. I work with Evans General Contractors, division manager. Personally, designed and managed about 13 million square foot here in Chatham County, and I've known the Burns for a long time. I agree with the lady that just spoke before me. There is no guarantee that the worst will come to this parcel. However, passing up on the development that's at hand today, you would not have a guarantee of that, but moving forward, there's a guarantee that you're going to have an exceptional industrial facility and property that will be built, along with many improvements to the local road. A lot of considerations have been taken into account with decel lanes, improvements to the roads, turnarounds, and investments that you don't typically see. As I've been speaking with the Burns over the last 6 months and going through the design of the Henley parcel, I'd like to applaud them for their attention to detail. Aesthetics of the property, the facility that is being proposed is a Class A industrial space. It's full tilt wall with clear story windows. There's heavy landscaping with the buffers. There's a lot of attention to detail when it comes to minimizing light traveling to other property with the buffers, LED lights, also photo studies, so there's no light bleed on any other properties, as well as sound considerations. So that attention to the aesthetics, you don't find with any developer on industrial properties, but with Burns, they've really paid a lot of attention to that. So there's I think a big misconception that there can't be intermingling of parcels. We've built numerous facilities in Chatham County, industrial property that butts up to residential property with buffers, with berms. There's numerous ways that we can engineer and design around and mitigate concerns. And a lot of those have been taken into consideration. And from speaking with Burns and being a part of their team, I know that their ears are open for concerns, and they want to be a good neighbor to the area. Lastly, I'd like to thank the Burns for the commitment to use local labor. I think that's it's very big. We like to stay at home and work locally. So me and my family live here in Chatham County, and it's a number of years that we were out of town working in Texas, etc. It's been nice to be working locally, and I hope for the opportunity to continue doing that. I appreciate your consideration in favor of industrial zone. Thank you.
I'm Will Coley. I'm operations manager, trucking company at 202 Officers Drive. Fleet owner there as well. We operate trucks, servicing these warehouses and others. This is, we do support the rezoning to industrial warehousing. The jobs that we'll generate for this community, as well as the jobs that generate for my drivers. And as well as all the revenue for the city and keeping our drivers here versus going to other properties around the county and over in the Effingham. This provides more work for them, allows them to stay locally, and we have many to live here. The safety concerns and the amount of money that Burns has put into the project will be huge for the area and will benefit everyone involved. Again, I support this project 100%. Appreciate your time.
Make it short.
My name is Willie Johnson. I stay at 250 Monteith Road at Port Wentworth, Georgia. We don't want to see another drain road in Monteith. And on election day, me and a neighbor, I told her about the new road off 21 up there, was completely never using it. And she told me, she said, well, let's book it right and see what's going on. So we rode up there at the county line and rode back, and we were surprised to see how many big warehouses they got back there. Look at on one side, it's got 100 doors on one of the warehouses, and they're on both sides. And all we could see was warehouses being built up in there. And that went back to me, I said, this is the warehouse right here on the county line and where the Georgia Postal Authority is at. And they're talking about putting warehouses in our neighborhood. How are we gonna ever get out of Monteith? It's sad to think that. And cause we live through Grange Road, and we definitely won't see that in Monteith. And one of the things that really got me, Lord bless it, didn't happen like that, but Sister Farmer was talking about, she got hit when she was a child. My granddaughter, they got hit right in Monteith. And I came to the city all year and talk about the traffic of it going so fast. And I'm just looking at now with all this traffic trailers up there, what's going to happen to all our kids in that area? The Lord bless me in the way I raised 3 children, they're all raised up there, and they're all grown and gone now. But we certainly don't want to see this in our neighborhood. And I think like the council and mayor to think about what y'all getting ready to do. And ask yourself a question. If this is my neighborhood, what I want this in my neighborhood. We certainly don't want this happen. And if y'all can't think about the citizens of Fort Worth and our Monteith area, please actually look for that way and not grant this to happen. Thank you.
My name is Terry Landon, and I'm on police services at 6811 State Highway 21 in Fort Wayne. Last time I come up here a few months, I don't know if everybody's here or not. But anyway, I come up here and I'm gonna talk business as a commercial business guy that owns a business. And when I got up here, my heart got taken away from me and I couldn't hardly even finish it as a business owner. The reason is I was raised in Pine Forest. I know a lot of these folks are behind me. But at the same time, I come up here concerned about a road that's getting cut off to my business. And that's what I was concerned about. Impacts on sewage and stuff, that's what I was gonna talk about. Tonight, I'm trying to separate my heart from my brain. That's hard to do. But sometimes you have to do it, as crazy as that sounds. I got some issues here that's been addressed with the road, which appears to be made right for me. And I'm talking commercial business-wise. I'm not a resident, I'm a business owner, commercial business owner. And I have to speak as a commercial business owner. My concerns was over my road, the impact fees on sewage if I have to be hooked to it, and they addressed it. I don't even know now, I kinda feel bad because I don't want it to be all about me. I would like for them to come up here and read this themselves and what this, amendments they made, for my road and all. You know what I mean? And I'd like them to do it on words so we can get it on record. Would that be all right, Mr. Mayor?
Or we can, you can attach it to, or make it attach it to the minute.
Yeah, I'd like to propose that we're taking a lot of your time already, and to read this would take a good bit more of it, but I'd like to, pass it on to you to attach it to the zoning, but the gist of it is that we're committing, his road is potentially to be cut off. I don't believe DOT would let us, but we could potentially cut off his road. And what this is saying is that we are going to, we're guaranteeing to construct the road and keep him a road open. Yeah. Build him a 250-foot long, 24-foot wide road to Chatham County standards, beginning 175 feet from the closest lane of travel on 21. Create a berm behind his property, remove the trees that are hanging over his property, and create him a permanent easement, is the gist of it. But
And I want to make sure that it's understood that anybody comes in behind me and purchases, if they were to purchase it. this road-
permanent easement.
The road that's definitely open all the time, it says developers on here, I want to make sure it's anybody buys their property or whatever. I just want it on the record. Like I said, at the same time, I do want to make it all about me, because my heart's really touched over this situation.
Thank you, sir.
I feel for every one of y'all got to make this decision. That's all I got to say.
My name is Ryan Wallman. I'm from the local 256 Carpenters Union.
Where do you live?
I live off of 17. I currently have to drive an hour to an hour and a half out of town just to work, and I have a 1-year-old son at home, and I leave when it's dark, and I don't come back till it's dark, so I don't get to spend very much time with him. If this project were to get approved, I could be driving only 20 minutes to work like every day, and have more family connection with my son, and I am for this project.
Hi, my name is Elaine Siebold, and I live at 603 Minehard Road. So I don't know who I'm supposed to speak to. I'll speak to the city council and the mayor. I'm a novice here. I'm a newbie to Port Wentworth. I have been in Savannah for 22 years in the historic district, and 2 years ago, I had a listing out on Minehard Road, and I brought clients out to see the property. Long story short, and I always went by the Promised Land Farm, so it's very charming, okay? And living in the city in the historic district, it's total. I mean, it's very vertical. There is no space. So I'm looking around, showing the property, and I actually fell in love with the peaceful quietness of the area. And as the last 2 years have gone by, even with the road being closed, and I will say your city administrator, Mr. Jones, was very gracious in taking my bombardment of phone calls about not being able to get down Henley Road to my home, which took an additional 45. These families that have been here forever, and that's part of the reason I bought my property. I don't know these people over here. I don't know these gentlemen, but I do know that as with anything, change happens. It just does. And we're going to see something there. I mean, I've seen so much of a change in the 2 years. I've been going from historic district where my office is, to Minehard Road. It's mind-boggling. The traffic is mind-boggling. But it's going to continue to happen, and we are not going to stop it. And the only thing we do have control over is maybe having a voice. But I guess what I have to say to the city council is, we're a small group of people standing in front of you, but you represent a lot more than just a small group of people. So I think your job, my father was a city councilman, is to look at the city as a whole and what's best for the city, whatever that is. You cannot base it on a small group of people, and I'm part of that small group of people, because it breaks my heart. But I know along, on Monteith Road, there are now new for sale signs. in some of these properties. And I think the Promised Land has even been on the market before. I've seen signs there. It's going to happen. Everyone's going to change. And I personally, I've seen the junk that you see up and down 21. And if someone can guarantee that these people, okay, I mean truly guarantee that these people don't have something right up against their home, you know, like a big commercial building or whatever, and there is a big buffer zone, and that can be guaranteed, I'd rather see that for them and for me than to see a bunch of, 50 commercial buildings with a wire fence around it. But it's still your job to look at the city as a whole and what's best for the city, not what's best for us. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
My name is Kyla Bennett, and I live at 605 Minehard Road. And Elaine forgot to tell you that she's a real estate agent.
I'm not looking to sell anything.
But she bought her property from me, and I live down where the lake is. And I know a lot of these people, and I respect them, and I love them. I fell in love with Minehard Road when I would meet Vincent on the corner. It took me 6 months to get him to wave at me, talk to me. But I also owned a trucking company for almost 40 years in Atlanta, Georgia. And, excuse me, Roy Barnes was my attorney, ex-governor, or the Governor Roy Barnes. And we fought also a zoning battle. We carried it all the way to the Georgia Supreme Court. And I think if you deny them their zoning and they go back to what it was zoned, I would much rather have this, the planned community with the buffer zones. I mean, he's tried to accommodate everybody with his lanes, sewage, storm drainage, and, yes, he's not going to directly affect my property. I have a railroad running through my property, and I also back up to I-95. So I know what it is to have inconvenience, but I would rather have what I have, and I would rather these people have that and a choice. I mean, he's offering them a choice of, 70-foot buffer as opposed to a 10-foot buffer. Berms if they want them, landscape, trees, hopefully not live oaks because they grow very slowly. But, I mean, and as far, I care about my property and my property value. I have stage 4 cancer, so I know it's only a matter of a few years before my children will take my property and have to do something with it. And I would rather people driving out to see my property would look at this than to a bunch of truck stops. And believe me, I know what truck stops do. I mean, with truck stops, you get the prostitutes, you get the hobos, you get the people looking for rides. I mean, I've been in the trucking business. I was one of the largest female contractors with the U.S. Post Office. I hauled mail all over the country. So you don't want an extension of a violent truck stop, or I wouldn't. I don't. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear trucks running with drivers sleeping in it. So given the choice of 2 choices, I would definitely choose this, and I hope that the city council would look at all the angles, and as Elaine says, look at the whole population, not just one little segment of it. But the people that live on Monteith, now is the time that they can step forward, and you can write into that zoning bill anything you want. You write in the buffers, you write in the septic, you write in the lane access. Now is the time for you to do that. You have control now. If you don't approve this, you don't have the control. You can go to court and you can fight it out for a couple of years, cost you a lot of money, cost the taxpayers a lot of money. But ultimately, property owners have the right to their property, which anybody that owns property would tell you that they would not want to get that up.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Lee. I'm a truck driver.
What's your address, Lee?
I actually live in Savannah, Tennessee Avenue. But I do deliver and drive around here. I've been doing truck driving for years. It's been my family generation. A lot of truck stops. down a lot of roads, a lot of warehouses. First off, no trucker likes driving in the neighborhood. The streets are too tight, too many trees, too many cars, too many potential accidents. That turnaround is the type of stuff we look for. We love places like that. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've seen a lot of raggedy warehouses. It's one of the better presentations I've seen. Beyond that, I'm gonna be honest with you, truck stops suck. They're noisy, they stink, and the people that be around them is ridiculous. If you can avoid that, by all means, I recommend avoid that. That's all I got to say.
Hello, my name is Frederick Ferguson. I live at 113 Ferguson Road, which is the Monteith community. The only thing that I would urge you, council members, to think about in your decision on tonight, and I don't think we've got a good answer. I've heard yes, there was possibilities that DOT, and then I heard no, they didn't say that. But I urge you all on tonight, if you would, think about getting DOT or somebody from DOT to do a study of his ideas that Mr. Burns presented on tonight. And I too, I'm a truck driver. And a lot of times, certain areas and certain neighborhoods, when we go in, there are signs that says, no trucks allowed. But oftentimes, truck drivers, because we're trying to make a delivery, or we're trying to get somewhere at our destination time, we disobey the signs. Oftentimes, if there's traffic that is backed up, we put in our GPS to try to get a different route. And oftentimes we may have to go through a neighborhood because we're trying to get to our next stop on time. So all of that, when you make your decision on tonight, think about maybe getting DOT to do a study to see if they will be willing to put a traffic light at Highland and 21.
Hubert Hicks, 145 Monteith Road. Monday, I got a disturbing phone call from somebody with this company. Hubert Hicks, 145 Monteith Road. I got home, my wife told me there was a phone call from me. And as I got on the phone, the gentleman introduced himself. He knew me as Mr. Hicks. And he made a statement, I need to make a meeting with you so we can figure out a way to get this project done. Kind of disturbed me because the first meeting I went to, I live right across from where they're planning on building a truck service center. And my 94-year-old mom lived right there in front of me. And she's having some health problems. She like everything real quiet. And when you're talking about bringing trucks in the area, that's noise. I used to be a truck driver. I used to have complaints in Hilton Head and places I went into. Beaufort, parts of South Carolina, parts of Georgia, Savannah, Pula, Bloomingdale, Oconee, Georgia. Why are you bringing this truck up in here with all of this noise? Shut it down. Now, I drove a truck with a reefer unit. Anybody know what a reefer unit is? It's got an external engine on it to keep product cool. You can't turn that off. You spoil your product. I got big complaints. I called my company. They said, well, you gotta deliver, you gotta do what you gotta do. This is one of the things we as senior citizens of Monteith Road, Mine Heart Road, trying to live the balance of our life, peace and quiet. Now you want to bring trucks up in there and disturb everything, you figure, okay, everybody said they're gonna turn this into Granger Road. Residents live there, they figure, come here tonight, they mention dollar sign, they put the dollar sign up. Okay, dollar sign comes up, property owners, you got a problem, you gotta think about it. Guess what? We got subdivisions you can move into, if that's a problem. But we own our property. You're gonna build buffaloes. I live on the dead end side of Martin Road. All night long I hear trucks coming out of the warehouses. I hear trucks running all night at the pilot truck stop. But if you're gonna build what you're gonna build, think about the people that live there, okay? Because the gentleman I spoke with, and he was telling me, we got to do something, we got to get this done, and if not, we're gonna build it anyway. Now, this came on my phone. Nobody else came up here. But after I saw these people coming up, I said, oh, we had a busy week calling people to come and speak on their behalf. You understand what I'm saying, council? And half of these people that's speaking on their behalf, they do not live on Monteith Road. They do not live in Mine Heart. You got people trying to get with this company to get a contract. We got a trucking company, we got a trucking firm, we got truckers ready to go. But I'm gonna tell you something. Folks in Mine Heart, Monteith, that raise kids, they want their kids to get that college education so they can get a decent job and a decent career. I'm telling you what me and my wife did. Make sure they get a college education. And if they decide they want to be on the city council, they got the education to do that. But I wish you luck. Whatever you do, you think on behalf of the people on Monteith Road, Mine Heart. Quiet is the answer.
Thank you, Mr. Rick.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Kathy Moss. I've been in Fort Worth about 11 years now. And I've been, since August, going to all the meetings where I've seen you and Ralph Peaser. And every time I went to the meetings, most of the concerns have been, Monty has been promised a lot of things, some place for the kids to play, a road, a speed bump, because people fly through there. They've been promised to give us a church, a historic site. A lot of things have been promised and nobody's kept their word. I myself tried to call to try to see why. I called the church members, somebody to try to help them. Nobody got called me back. So I've heard about Sherman marching through and all of that. But as I watch the developers have these meetings, everybody that came in, they were talking about their property being taken. I've been in Savannah all my life. I had a very outspoken mother. Let me explain something. You can put a bad apple in the middle of a crowd. Like my mama said, one monkey will stop a show. But if that monkey continue to swing on those vines and put bad knowledge in a crowd, and you have people falling on that bad knowledge, I don't know where that paycheck is coming from, but I want to check like she did. Because she showed, I'm not trying to get an Oscar, but give the people the right knowledge. Let them decide on their own. Don't feed them the wrong information. If you went to DOT, do it. I called. Nobody went to them. The man said, did they have anybody that came? Nobody that called. Oh, we can't guarantee you that a truck's not gonna do something. Just like the truck driver said, he do it too. My husband, the truck driver, they sneak through. They all do it. I got ran off the road 4 weeks ago. The man didn't even stop, but his company paid me. You know why? Because he lied and said he didn't do it, but he did. I videotaped it. See, you have to be careful what you do, how you do it, and what you say. It ain't about money, it's about progress. Pula, they don't argue, they growing, leaps and bounds. We stuck because we argue and we don't get together. It ain't about this man, somebody else gonna come. Why did he sell his land to somebody else? They gonna put a big old merry-go-round around. He's trying to work with them. It ain't about that. Let us work together and stick together so we can all be one equal. Let's get together. He's trying to do that. I've been to all those meetings. He's trying to bend over backwards. Let's give him the help that he needs. Thank you.
Steve Hester, live at 440 Meinhardt Road. I've lived at that address for 32 years. Born and raised in Savannah on 46th Street, grew up there, and I felt like Eddie Albert coming out to Green Acres, so then I kind of learned how to be a country boy. And on this property of Hester Farms, my great-grandfather bought this property back in 1871. I am the fourth Hester generation that has the privilege of living on this property. My children represent the fifth generation, Hannah and Benjamin. What grieves me is that I know what is a beautiful thing they're gonna put there. Yes, it's an opportunity. It's just gonna take our hearts away from the green spot, from the peace that I've been used to. Yes, I've seen a lot of change. I've seen tremendous traffic change. I've seen all of us, of course, we've got planes, we've got cars, we've got trains, but yet there's a serenity and a peace to the property, and I enjoy that. But I'm gonna tell you, if you approve of this zoning and they have the right to build there, really the answer is, like my neighbor said, the city needs to buy this property and make it a community park, something that we can all enjoy. Meinhardt and Monteith need to remain a green spot. There's just some places you don't put warehouses. Now, we're talking about many generations of ownership, but once those warehouses go in, part of my heart is going to be underneath their pavement because you changed it on them. There's just some places you need to leave alone. Right across 21, you have all the warehouses that you can imagine, and that's created a heavy traffic problem already. We know that Bent Boulevard is coming, so that's going to create more traffic. Today, just coming home to try to make this meeting on time, the cars were stopping in Garden City, bumper to bumper, trying to get out here. Now we're going to put more worker cars, we're going to put more trucks, and you're just going to bottleneck Henley Road, and that's how we get in and out. And it's just going to break my heart if it goes to concrete and buildings. Apartments, shopping plaza, I think we could live without a park, but warehousing is a totally different aspect of thinking, and it's very dangerous to us, and this is why I'm against it. So please, for Hester's and many generations, and for Promised Land Farms, we'd like it to remain a green spot in Portland. Thank you.
My name is Georgia Bennett, and I'm gonna answer this young man over here about the traffic study. Now, Mr. Herring, you verified that before we went to the U.S. Supreme Court fighting with Fort Whitmore, we pulled records from everywhere, because we fought also for Monteith. It was all one battle. There is a traffic study that was done in 2010. Now, 2010 has nothing to do with 2020. So if you're gonna do it right. Get a traffic study from DOT. So how about, they didn't say about the traffic light? I'm gonna give it to you in black and white. I have a copy of the study, and I promise every one of you will get a copy of that 2010 study, including the mayor. Now, I just happen to leave it on my nightstand. So, please, remember, let me put it to you this way. If Georgia Edna Wright Benton ever come before you with a statement of fact, I can back it up. I want you to remember that. Now, that picture you show us, it had a traffic light there. There is no traffic light at Monteith, right there at Henley and 21. Are you going to expand the bridge for the turn? Who going to expand the bridge for the turn? You know, I'm against progress? No. I'm an entrepreneur myself. Been one for over 40 years. Been in construction also. And educated 3 kids through college with their money. But I'm saying, let's do right. Nobody wants their children hurt. And if you travel that road 5 o'clock, and I have a dope granddaughter, I had to have the bus stop at 5:15 in the morning. That traffic is rolling. And I can't hardly pull out of Saucy Road. So how you expect them to pull out of Henley Road? That's 5 o'clock in the morning. Now you think about the heavy time between 5 and 9 when them trucks turning in there. I'm coming home around by 6:30. I'm sitting. I am sitting trying to get over the Monteith Bridge. So if I am in such an error, take some of those millions and do a traffic study with DOT. Let DOT come in and say whether or not they will put a traffic light there or not. Because you're going to have something there. Because them truckers pull out however they so desire. Your car there, and guess what? Fatality. That's going to be your answer. Because they pull out however they so desire. And you was just a little car. But as I said, I will have that report to each and every one of you in the morning. But the last study was done in 2010.
Yes.
I operate a trucking company, Lane Waste Services. I'm not gonna talk about the waste contract, but I've been here, hearing these different folks. I've got a little zoning battle going on myself. But what I see is these people are concerned about traffic going down Monteith. And as a truck operator and looking at the proposed plan, there shouldn't be any traffic at all from a truck going down Monteith or Ferguson or Minehart. And so the simple solution would be to just, they've got the turnaround, and then you put time, all you have to do is put signs that say you went too far. That's it. I mean, that's pretty simple. They know to turn around. I mean, there's no reason for a truck to come around all the way Highway 30 and come down Monteith. So the trucks are not going to be coming down these people's yards or houses. So they need to be concerned about the neighborhoods and the cars that are already there, not these trucks. And then secondly, I'm looking at the buffers that they've got, they're not gonna see it, and they're not gonna hear it, because all they're gonna hear is the trains, train track and 995. I'm hearing the, warehouse right now. You already have, and you're already dealing with noise, so just looking at it from a, objective view, this sounds like a great project for your city, and if you're wanting parks, you're getting millions of dollars that you can put in parks. You can add lights. It makes a lot of sense, and so, from somebody that's somewhat objective, it makes all the sense in the world, and I would support a project like this if I was in your position.
My name is Timothy Grayson. I'm out of 256. I support this project because Mr. Burns laid everything out for us. He didn't leave nothing out. He didn't come in, he didn't hide anything for anybody. I'm quite sure if we can sit down and be able to work this out, I'm quite sure this could work. Thank you.
Thank you.
My client has just told me that they're willing to put a letter of credit for $300,000 to construct a traffic light as soon as it's approved by DOT. It will be, the money will be in escrow for Fort Wentworth to use when the light is approved. Period. Now, I have been on the other side, and people don't like change. And it's difficult for people because they look at things that could happen. They look at things that might happen. But the thing that they don't understand, that people don't understand is you can't stop change. It's like trying to stop the tide. It's coming. The question this council has to decide is, do you want controlled growth, or do you want a project? Somebody said something about a truck stop. There's no truck stop in this project. It could be one. There could be a pilot gas station there or something like that. But once again, I ask you to look, as the gentleman who said, you got to separate your heart from your brain. My heart, nobody wants to talk about children being hurt. That's the worst thing in the world for anybody to think. I buried a child, so I know what that's like. And believe me when I tell you that this project is in the best interest of all the citizens of Fort Wentworth. It's the opportunity to have controlled growth and have an opportunity for people to get them. It's going to change. You can't stop it. Can you control it? You can control it. I know this has been an emotional issue for all of you, but I ask that you use your sense to do the best for all the people of Fort Wentworth. Gosh knows, I'm sure each and every one of you would like to spend millions of dollars to buy that property. And that was the main thing, a lot of people want us to buy that property. It's not gonna happen. That's not fair to the other people in Fort Wentworth. You gotta take each of you have to make tough decisions, I know that. But you have to make a decision that's in the best interest of everyone. This is in the best interest of everyone. Thank you for your attention.
All right, this public closed. Can I get someone to make a motion?
Your Honor, I would like to make a motion that we approve this, project. You would please.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Before the motion is made, I would like to make a statement that I have an annual back to school, function at City Hall, this year at City Hall, and Greenland Developers was one of the donors.
Okay. Yeah, why?
I didn't do that.
I'm sorry, what was that, ma'am? Well, I didn't hear what you said.
I had a back to school function, and I would like to disclose that Greenland Developers was one of the beneficiaries for the school supplies.
Oh. And I asked for a roll call vote, Your Honor, on this.
All right, who seconded it?
I did.
All right, all in favor?
Roll call
We
vote,
want to
Your
roll
Honor.
call vote, Your Honor, so Councilmember Barbie,
No.
Councilmember Linda Smith,
Yay.
Councilmember Bill Henry,
Yay.
Councilmember Sherry Dow,
No.
Councilmember Mark Stevens,
No.
and Mayor, Pro Tem.
No.
Motion fails. Item I.
Council still in session. If you hold it down, please, we're trying to continue business.
Where that 28.9 acre tract is, there's a median balance description, and, the plat will be forthcoming, will go with, recommendations.
I second.
All in favor? Any applications?
Your Honor, Council, we have, attempted to secure bids for the second construction council chambers at the new city hall building. Bids were to be open on October the 31st. The city received no bids. And because of that, we put a competitive quote out to several local contractors. We had 3 contractors respond with quotes. And the lowest quote we gave our contract incorporated in the amount of $227,567. In addition to that, the audio visual bid was received from a company called Stagefront in the amount of $140,041.56. You have an attachment which shows you the remaining quotes. What we would like to ask you to do this evening is approve the quote from Gable Contracting Incorporated in the amount of $227,567, and the audio visual bid from Stagefront in the amount of $140,041.46. And upon successful execution of documents that meet the approval of the city attorney, authorize the mayor to sign those. to approve.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item L.
The last item is, the issue to bring back to council an issue that was set aside by council to be included in the charter, proposed draft charter. So we'll need a motion to pull that project back before council and, let's take a vote on increasing the retired pay.
Make a motion that we bring it back to the council.
Second.
We have to bring it forward from the August 22nd meeting and then extract it from inclusion in the charter. It will eventually go back in the charter, but we decided to put it there for working purposes. But now we're extracting it and making a decision. And then, we extract it from that and then make a decision.
Take care, buddy.
I make a motion to extract.
All in favor? Aye. Now we need someone to make a motion to move it forward.
No one seconded that, Your
I
Honor.
did, I seconded it.
I didn't.
Second.
I make a motion to move it forward.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
As a proposal to increase the car tax from $25 to $50, which means we do have to make a change in the Georgia Municipal Employee Benefit Program, and so document that change. As you'll see on the last page, it's on 23 at the bottom, you'll see the formula for electors and appointed members of the governing council, and you can see the second item discussed with the old wage of 25, we'll be changing that to 50.
13, resolution, ordinances, and proclamations. We don't have executive session. I still want to read the public comments. Linwood's gone, Eagles off. Ms. Esther? Willie Johnson, where's gone? Taylor's in it. Jeremy Roberts. Catherine Morris.
My name is Deborah Matthews, and I'm a minister at Mount Moriah Baptist Church at 228 Monteith Road. And y'all didn't pass it. I'm in agreement for it not being passed, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Joe Montgomery, he's already gone.
That's Reverend.
Talking about her.
Mayor, Councilman, my name is Bill Wall, I am from Atlantic Waste, and I would like to talk about the solid waste bid process. As you know, y'all did choose to award the contract to Waste Pro. One of the things that I wanted to let everybody know is there was a set of grading. You know, and one of the things that I haven't seen any grading yet.
You asked for it today on a telephone call, I called you back today. I didn't get a call.
I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't know how we grade it out, but, you know, we are a local company that's in Cooler, Waste Pro, Partyville. Some of the references that we have, you know, we do Effingham County, Cooler, Richmond Hill,
And then some of the former accounts of theirs that they were kicked out of were Tybee and Thunderbolt. And I don't know if they put that in their bid process or in that bid, but, you know, I don't know if that was omitted or not, you know, and it's too late now, but, you know, I would like the opportunity when the time comes up, you know, to earn your business and earn your sport. You know, we were only about $12,000 high on a $760,000 or $70,000 bid, so it was very, it was close. I mean, it was close, you know, and there was some room to negotiate. We were not asked to negotiate any further, and I'm sure Waco did come down on their commercial number. We would have come down on our residential number if we needed to, and I did tell Phil that, well, give me the opportunity, but that's okay. I mean, I understand, you know, it is what it is. But, going forward, like I said, I hope to, you know, get a relationship with you, folks, and, you know, hopefully, like I said, the contract's only for a year, part of the bid stipulations, so we hope that, you know, that'll be there, and hopefully we'll be back in the year, and I appreciate y'all's time, and thank y'all very much. You have a good evening.
All right, Mr. Johnson, what do you have?
Are we supposed to finalize?
Well, we don't have an agreement, I mean, we have an agreement in place, and for me, it's really kind of irrelevant. You want to be simply a consultant, and I'm good with that, because, I have an existing contract, you just change it from one to the other. That's all I need.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Just wanted to make sure it's crystal clear, on what transpired tonight. The motion was made, we didn't vote on it, but there should have been a vote on it because we're amending the contract, you modifying it, there should be a vote on it. I made a motion that we modify his contract to not be the part-time city administrator, but act as a consultant with our new city administrator working on the projects that we know for a fact he's already currently working on, so it'll be a smooth transition. That's about it.
Second.
You make a motion?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
We dismissed, okay, one question. Tiffany, I know you and I discussed, Christmas lights. Yes. What's the status of that? I know Lincoln has
Something
theirs up,
happy.
Arlington has theirs up, here we are in the middle.
Nope, we got a tree up today, and the lights are all going up on Monday, so we're ready to, they're all going up down here, and I ordered 4 more with the funds that we submitted, and they'll be in on Tuesday, and we're gonna keep it up. I've talked with Georgia Power and, our electrician, so hopefully all that, I wanted to do it kind of during about Thanksgiving, the ones up on the north end, maybe right that day.
Okay.
But they are ordered, I got, they're 2 6-foot, 2 of them are 6-foot, toy soldiers, and then the other 2 are 2 bells. But then all the hardware and all the other stuff added in.
And we just continually add to it over the years.
Exactly, I think that.
Okay, great, I just wanted to know that.
And also, December 6th is our tree lighting out behind the senior center. We're gonna have a new uniquely created, they're gonna do a major dance. Our rice cream school is gonna sing, their choir is gonna be singing there that night. And we'll do the countdown, we'll get Santa Claus coming, so please be there on December 6th.
Thank you, Tiffany. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Second. All in favor?